touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Every time you leave, I come down. So girl, you know that I need you around. You are my You are my You are my Every time you leave, I come down. So girl, you know that I need you around. You are my ecstasy. When you are next to me, flooding my dopamine. Stay here right next to me. Oh, you make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Girl, you done got me. Girl, we be sorry rolling. Like whoa. You took all my love like you stole it. Got me like whoa, yeah, whoa. You are my You are my You make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Every time you leave, I come down. So girl, you know that I need you around. You are my You are my ecstasy. When you are next to me, flooding my dopamine. Stay here right next to me. Oh, you make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Couldn't come in, could be sorry rolling. Like whoa, you took all my love like you stole it. Got me like whoa, yeah, whoa. You are my. You are my. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Every time you leave, I come down. So good you know that I need you around. You are my. You are my. You are my. Every time you leave, I come down. So girl, you know that I need you around. You are my ecstasy. When you are next.
And welcome everyone to day 2 of the playoffs here at IG League TV. Of course, I am going to be your host of the day, Edu, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-caster Soren. And we got a lot of gameplay for us today. Soren, walk me through who's competing, where are we at, and what's going to be going on today.
Well, we're starting off with the uppers finals here for the playoffs and divisions for the first time, and we have Handsome Jits versus Acacia, the number 1 and 2 seeds going into the tournament, still in the uppers fighting it out. And we have a bit of an interesting situation here because Acacia got here on the back of a really strong run, almost fell a little bit short thanks to Team Fish Taco, but they were able to kind of squeeze through on Fracture and able to solidify their place here. But this is not the same team. They actually had a few subs in yesterday. So this is the actual team, the full roster on hand. Meanwhile, over on the side of Handsome Jits, they have had a pretty easy run. Part of that is because they already had one forfeit earlier in the day, or yesterday, I could say. So
and it did.
they are a good team, though. So they first seed in. So maybe it's unneeded.
Well, the way that they competed in that quarterfinals, if you wanted to know, I checked in with Monarch Esports after that game, and they were not happy. It was, and Monarch Esports is a relatively powerful team. Yes, they did get knocked down in those lower bracket quarterfinals by Team Fish Taco, but beforehand, in that upper bracket quarter, when they fought Handsome Jits, as a little background, they got 13 to 2 and then 13 to 1, or
Oh,
13 to 0. They got
oh,
flawless in the map of Haven. So we know Handsome Jits knows how to play Haven pretty well. They absolutely railed through them and did exactly what they needed to do to put themselves at that tippity top of the scoreboard. And we saw people just real no diffing the competition. But now they're going to have a little bit of issue with this acacia tree sprouting in front of them. And
yeah.
hopefully, you know, they are going to be able to sharpen their axe and chop that tree down, because Acacia is on a streak, taking out Lionheart Esports and Team Fish Tacos yesterday. But it's the upper bracket final. These guys are seed 1 and seed 2, and now we are seeing if they can plant their seeds into the grand final. Lots of options are going to be moving forward here. We're going to be starting off on the map of Haven, which we know is a strong map for both Acacia and Handsome Jits. So with that being said, we're going to be jumping straight on in here, and I'm pretty excited because both teams are going to be ready. You know, we know that Haven is one of those maps that these guys have pretty much lock and key down, especially with the team picks that they have. Either it's going to be Jet Rays or, you know, Silva's always going to be picked. So there's a lot of options that we're going to be seeing here from this team. I just want to see what's going to be brought to spice this up. Or is it going to be default mirror team composition, aim duels, win it out? That's my question, Soren. And tell me, what are your predictions coming forward here?
I mean, like you said, we have two really, really strong teams. Handsome Jits had a really good start to their run, but also on the side of Acacia, I believe the map count, they played Haven twice yesterday. I think the map counts was, I think, 13-3 and 13-4. So
Yeah.
they're not ones to shy away from this map at all either. I'm expecting exactly what we're seeing on screen here. I'm seeing the Breach, I'm seeing the Sovas, I'm seeing the Jets as well. I would love to see a Raze get picked up, but I don't think it's going to happen. But notably, much like yesterday, it's going to be the theme of this map, and it's going to be the controller difference. There's going to be an Omen on the attack side. Meanwhile, over on the side of Acacia, we are going to get the Astra that we saw yesterday, which was actually used very, very well by them. It's a little bit of an off pick here for Haven, but it's not a bad one, especially with that global utility. It means she can have presence on pretty much all three of the sites at once. And it also serves as a really good deterrent for Omen. They really want, when you're playing Omen, excuse me, you really want to play quickly. You want to play with a lot of pressure. You want to take sites quickly. You want to keep the defenders on the back foot at all times. But Astra's utility, especially the concussion and the suck, makes it so that, you know, it can stall out pretty much any real aggressive push if timed properly. So it's going to be a back and forth in my opinion. I do like the Astra pick a lot, but if you know this Omen composition, this more attacking, aggressive, especially since they're starting on the attack side as well. If they could find a way to break through that defense, if they could find a way to stop that stall, I think this might be a one-sided map. But both of these teams have shown that anything could happen. This could be an all-out bloodbath on Haven.
Yeah, you know, if the river starts flowing and it starts going red, we might just have to see who's going to be taking this game. I also want to point out the last roster we saw here for the side of Acacia, they had 2 subs, and now the main roster's back in here. Drios, Vel, Chrome, Stoby, and DJ. These guys are going to be rocking their heat in. They're going to be making the moves that they can, and any issues are not going to be really seen here. They're ready to pop off, and I'm pretty excited to actually be watching this game here as the seeds are now colliding. We have the main rosters back on the board. Everybody is here to compete their best, and starting off, we do have the side of Acacia on defense and the side of Handsome Jits on attack. So Soren, I'm pretty hyped to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is starting off the day with literal Clash of the Titans, excuse me. And like I said, these are the first and second scene. We are expecting this to be a brutal map. Both of these teams won quite confidently on this map in the past. Handsome Jits are coming in with an insanely strong record just in general. So seeing as this is the first time we're seeing them on stream this, playoffs, I think we're going to have a really good game, and it looks like we're starting off very quickly, much like I said, a full 5-man push down A main with just a KJ now sitting on flank in A lobby.
And they are already going to be able to get themselves onto that point here. Attack very thorough onto that A. We did see a big stack towards B and C here, but when you put those players together, you're going to have to try to work it out. Stovey takes a little bit of damage coming out from that aftershock, but speaking of aftershock, we might just see how these guys are going to be able to roll through after the first quake is hit, and that's going to be DJ opening it up first blood. Payne getting another one down, and it is a massacre. Payne and Ricky just gunning them down, and Payne on the 4K, bringing the pain, and pistol round ends pretty well for the side here of Handsome Jits.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I said bloodbath, I was not expecting a little bit of a massacre over on A in round 1. You know, just a really good defensive hold. They were able to take that site very quickly, so they knew they were going to be expecting a massive pushback and retake from that connector area and from heaven. So they actually stayed on site. They didn't want to play around a post plant. They just stayed on site and they held it down. They had the crossfires that they were looking for, and in the end, it worked out into their favor. Now they got this anti-eco round. They're actually only going to be going up against some sheriffs, so no force buy coming out from this defense. And it looks like they're going to be starting off really strong here, especially with that hero rifle in the hands of Payne.
Wow. You know, and that's what you want to be seeing here, but it's Chrome making to tap the Chrome domes here with that sheriff looking for another one. It's going to be Wraith, but what a shot! Somehow nearly clutching it up. Chrome, he was taking a break yesterday, but now that he's back on his main rosting team, you can tell that this guy's here to compete, and that sheriff shots proved it. That is a lot of investment down by the attackers here. They're actually not going to be able to full buy. So that hero rifle in the hands of Payne, luckily still back in his hands, but I don't know. They're actually down a lot of material here, and they are facing off against the full buys coming around from the side of defense. The only difference I'm seeing is Vel rocking with a Bulldog instead of that Guardian or rifle in hand.
Yeah, last round a little bit tricky. Almost like Ricky almost threw that round. Actually, the shock dart missing their target immediately and actually putting a lot of damage onto the Killjoy setting in the window. Put him into an opportunity to get body shot, which they did. And that's just not what you want to see. You want to see a little bit more precision for them. But now it looks like we are again seeing a very aggressive take towards B. But there's so much utility. The attack really struggling to get on. But Complex sneaks through with the classic and does find one on site before they, are able to get the rotation off. But Complex is now stuck in a little bit of a tricky spot. No real good exit off of site.
Well, the best way to exit off of a site, the quickest way anyways, is to die. And that's what we're going to be seeing here now. 2 down for the side of attack. We did see the KJ getting traded out, but anything's possible as they are going to be pushing right through garage. They don't have to worry about too many trips or anything. And Vel has to anchor this down, picking up his teammate's weapon. It's the Phantom, but he's becoming a Phantom. A clean headshot down by Shane. And let's see if the insane Shane can plant that bomb and get these teammates to clutch it up. 3v3 retake underway. Breach on the flank, and Stovey looking for info.
Yeah, both initiators on the side of the defense do have almost practically full utility, so they have all the tools they need to take this retake. They just need to play this very carefully.
Wow. Taking it carefully, but cleaning it out, only losing 1 player, and they're able to keep this going. But, oh, here it is. It's just another round that they need. But obviously, though, a lot of investment, and that was a slight buy for the side of attack, so they get a full buy here, and players like DJ, Drios, and Vel are not going to be able to full buy either. So they're kind of working with each other. They are going to have a buy from their teammates, though. Still be able to pick one up and keep that going. So anything's really kind of what you want to be watching, but I have to be pointing out Payne here with that ultimate on the board, going to be going with that eco round, shorty in hand, joining with the Blade Storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving a little bit of a buffer to their economy, opting to go for an ultimate play rather than invest into that Vandal. I think it's a pretty good move here, but this combination play off the Killjoy and the Breach might be enough to catch them off guard, or they're going to be too liberal with it.
Oh, wow. That is what you want to be seeing here. Payne getting stunned out, locked out, and gunned down by the Stinger. Not exactly ideal for the attackers, losing their initiator, who kind of invested not only in ultimate, but the amount of money that he had for his teammates. So honestly, we might be able to see him buy next round, but if his team, Ricky, Shane, and Wraith can't clutch this up, then it's going to be pretty tricky here with Wraith already trying to slowly inch their way onto B, but that gun is right around the corner. Not a very efficient blind. Will not be able to connect 100%, but the damage sure as hell is connecting. DJ and Chrome cleaning it up, but Shane, last player standing, grabbing one. Is he going to check the corner? He is, but unfortunately, Stinger just seems to be the better gun in the hands of Drios than a rifle is in the hands of Shane.
Yeah, and I want to just say notably there, that was a very convincing round. Not only did really only one defender fall, but most of the defenders actually kept almost all of their utility. The Astra kept most. Actually, I don't think DJ used a single ability in that round either. So on top, that does allow DJ to also pick up the operator with that little bit of extra cash that they get to save going into this round. But just in general, that's a huge buffer out to the economy. And despite Pain, investing into that ultimate, hoping to get a little bit of a boost going into these future rounds, it's not going to be seen. They are going to get a Vandal, but everyone else on their team is going to be stuck with Marshals, Stingers, and the only real, tool they have that's going to try to maybe pull this back into their direction is that hero rifle and the Rolling Thunder now in the hands of Shane.
Yeah, and sometimes you want to be pulling those heroics off here. But look at Wraith. This positioning, clean as ever. But unfortunately, the aim is not as clean as he gets cleaned out by Chrome. And we're seeing Pain, that hero rifle you pointed out, on top of the C site, looking for something. But unfortunately, from the highest angle, you still can't spot something. And that is going to be an ultimate from the defense to force them off, make sure the bomb does not get planted. But Complex coming up big, taking out Vel here with the Marshal. Slept on rifle so far. That sniper is able to just get those one hits and back it up. Bombs planted for him, so they might be able to work it out. DJ and Chrome go down to Shane and Pain, and they're sharing the pain for these players. The Stovey has to clean it up, taking some damage, spotting out Pain, but the re-hit is going to be tough. But what a flick! 5 bullets, 1 dream, 1 shock dart, but he can't shoot it off in time. And Legolas goes down, but what? He dashes into the shot! And here we go. 2 bullets in the hands of the Sheriff. He's gonna tap once. Gonna risk it all. What is happening? Switches to a classic. Switches around. What is that gameplay, Soren?
I don't know. I mean, somehow they went it out. They had a massive disadvantage. I believe that was a thrifty round as well. But my God, in that situation, there's really no way that the attack side should have won it, but they're able to do it off the back of some heroic opening picks. They do almost fumble it a little bit thanks to just the pure rifle disadvantage that they had on site, but it just kind of devolves into a classic match and a few whiffed Sheriff shots and chaotic on site. But at the end of the day, it's one that does go around into the hands of Handsome Jits. Excuse me. They do now have the advantage. Have the advantage yet again, but notably they're still behind on the ultimate economy. Only 2 in hands, but the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury, great. One really good for taking site, one really good for playing the post plant. If they're in a really tricky situation, those two ultimates are still on hand, they could easily flip around back into their favor.
Yeah, they might be able to flip that back forward, but looking at what we're seeing from Pain right around the corner, he might try to spot out Chrome, tapping that dash for the backup here. And Chrome, I think, wants it, and unfortunately wanted it too much. Looked at that piece of candy, followed the trail, and only got shot. Now it's just going to be Pain still in mid, still making space here over on that B point, but DJ's dropped gun will be able to get picked up as Drios takes out Pain here. Stovey spots out another one, and this Killjoy knows what's happening next, and this ultimate should force them off, but the ult coming out, the Hunter's Fury actually disables it, so they get to take the site for free. But DJ making sure that it's not so free, giving them a little discount on life and getting a double down, but not the triple. 2v2, 1v2. It's Ricky, and it's tricky to clutch. Drios is going to take that down, and this is now tied 3-3.
It was very costly as well, I must say. That was both the ultimates. I said, it would be really good to swing around back into their favor, just try to, even secure a round, but they popped both of them so early, I think maybe a little bit too preemptively there. Not getting a lot of value out of a Rolling Thunder, especially as they had already been seen pushing on the site. So most of the defenders were already making their way off. They just kind of got hit in CT where they were already protected. And then almost immediately popping the Hunter's Fury, I see where maybe there's some value of, trying to get them while they are concussed and can't move and, can't obviously shoot back. But you also still have no information. There was no silver dart. They had no idea where they actually were. You were just hoping and blind firing into a concussed team, and it just did not work out in the end.
Yeah, and it did not work out, but DJ coming up big with that first pick. Unfortunately, is going to get traded out outside of grass, but they need to just start pushing it in and put them on their ass, and that's what's going to happen. A double kill down. Vel and Chrome working their way through before Chrome goes down. It's a 2v3, and we got Wraith on the flank shifting their way through it. We do have one over on main, and that's Ricky pushing up in B main here. Just needing to get right through those huge pagoda doors. They might be able to spot out one. Drios holding that angle tight, knows that he's got his teammates to work around. Vel ready for the swing if any information is gathered. And that's Stoby buying some time. They know where the Astra is, but they still have no idea that Drios is right around the corner here.
Neither of the attackers have any utility either. The only thing they had was that dart, and it's already been used up. Didn't find anything on the scan.
Yeah, didn't find too much here. They might be able to. Ricky right around the corner. Going for the trick. Needs to find something, but spots out Drios. What a shot! And wall banging the Astra, forcing them back with 19 seconds on the clock. They have to now start going now. And here we go. The world divided. The astral divide separating everything except for their head to their shoulders. Clean round. And that is another one that attack needed here. They are now back on the track of taking this game. And we still have 2 ultimates to use.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was very costly for the defense. They did use the Astra Wall at the very end there, which a little bit unfortunate. They probably should have expected they didn't really have much utility in their hands, seeing as they weren't being dumped with utility on themselves. And they had used so much utility trying to stall out them pushing before they even knew where they were. So overall, I just think a very weird and kind of bad hold from the defense. Which is strange because they just had a really good one in the round following. So it seems like back and forth, small blunders that are separating these 2 rounds.
Yeah, and gonna work for them here. Payne right around the corner, looking for the most they can, and Complex is able to gun that back. Chrome now down. All right, let's see it.
All
Trios.
5 are refusing to rotate off. They're here and they're trying to make it on site.
Here we go, though. It's a big push up. Payne will get spotted out, but is the timing for some reason? DJ looked down, trying to avoid the dart, but Stoby on the double can't make it a triple. Does get the collat though, and that's a decent round here for the side of the attackers again. But eco round was being flowed here for the defense, so honestly, not bad.
Not bad at all. I actually do really like the attack there. They found that opening kill, but instead of pushing in on it, because a lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll get a pick and they immediately try to push in to take that space, even though they're unaware of what's there. There could still be 2-3 people there. There could be a crossfire. It's dangerous. So what they do is they actually wait. They hold. They see what the defense does in response. And they actually heard their own turret on flank go off, which means at a minimum, there's at least 1 on flank, meaning that at most there can be a 3-man hold on site. And they have 5 already there. So they're able to just run through that defense.
Yeah, they're running it down. Stoby. You said run down the defense, but I don't think they're going to let it happen. Ricky with the flick while blinded. Beautiful player. Able to just clean that house. But, you know, things like that, they don't get taught. That is just instinct. Knowing exactly how much to flick, regardless of where you're aiming. And speaking of aiming, Shane's aiming for the headshots here as DJ goes down 2v2. Sova has the ultimate for post plant. And Breach definitely still has 1 shock here that can push them back. Instead, the Tremor is just going to be used early.
Full util still left in the Sova's hands as well. This could be really useful, especially those sock darts that try to keep him off site for just a moment longer.
Yeah, but they spotted out, and that is what you need to be seeing here. If Shane had not got that pick, it would be a different kind of round, but Ricky is going to be able to clutch that up. And now we're seeing a double score here, 3-6, really just getting everything that they need to for the attack side. And that round, defense needed. They don't have the best kind of funds right here.
No, and very notably, the defense falling a little bit behind in round count as well. Now 3-6. And the scary thing for me is they've actually been playing these early rounds really well. They've been going up on manpower thanks to like really early picks. But then they just kind of fumble the bag. That was the second 2v3 they've lost this half.
Wow. You know, that's definitely a good point there. They're not able to just lock it in. And with Shane getting these picks down, it's pretty tough. They have the life advantage, but unfortunately, they're just not hitting their shots the same way that we can see those shots getting thrown away by players like Shane and Ricky. Both of them at the top here, tied for second. Payne and Shane. Ricky at the top for 11th. And obviously, I think we're just seeing a little bit of an aim diff that comes down to it, because these teams, the comp is very similar. The only difference being the Astra versus Omen. So it's nearly mirrored. But talking about the mirror, we can see that this map is inverted here, as C is where all the attackers are and A is where all the defense is.
Yeah, absolutely. The attack, or excuse me, the defense actually have a pretty solid plan here. They know they have the disadvantage when it comes to firearms, so they actually go and they know there's going to be a rotation off to a different site, so they put all their eggs in one basket and hope for A. But unfortunately for them, it's not going to be A. They're going to have to rotate over to C, and because it was open, it's all theirs. The attack has full control and the rifle advantage, and as you can see, there's plenty of utility to go around and post plant setup as well.
Yeah, that post plant setup is going to be pretty clean here, pushing them off, but it's just easy for them. I don't want to say easy, but it feels easy when you don't have a single person go down after that retake's underway, and they are at that weapon advantage here, Soren. So I'm not sure. I want to see more coming out from the defense. I think with DJ's op back in his hand, that could happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially yesterday, we saw how much value DJ can get. It was actually kind of a menace on this map on defense with the operator, but thanks to, being a little bit down at times, they've not been able to invest in that weapon as much as he probably would like to. But now has it in their hands and is hoping to find something, but there's actually no one down A long for them to find. This is going to be a full push into B.
Wow. What a push into B there, working it out beautifully, forcing these guys back on their toes, and not really sure what they can do now that it is kind of throwing them off of this site. Defense, they've still got 2 players on B, 1 player on A. The rotate's underway here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to actually penetrate through. They're having to use that Killjoy ult. There's no chance they're not going to be using it here for the attack, and attack's going to be dropping it down regardless. So obviously they're just buying themselves some time. They know that they want to get to that 8-4, and it's going to be almost guaranteed unless Stoby can really prove what he's got. But nope, he's detained. He's blind, he's getting runned, he's getting gunned, and the knives are flowing, but Wraith is not going to allow that to happen, and the teabag is actually going to be dropping it down by the player Shane.
Last round.
Yeah, the tactical crouching is in full force, and here we go. We're seeing a timeout, and I'm a little bit concerned because this is actually a very late timeout. They are already 8-3 down in the half. They've only been able to put 2 rounds together, and during the 3rd and 4th after they were able to convert their bonus, though it was a very sketchy bonus if I remember correctly. So seeing as they've gone a fair few rounds in a row without even being real close to converting a round, I would have loved to see this timeout a little bit sooner. They really need to take a step back. They need to reset because this was their preferred half. They had a really strong start on both maps on Haven yesterday. The defense was just a stronghold for them, and they actually really struggled on the attack side. Their first map, I remember very specifically, once they switched over to the attack, they were only able to win and keep the round count low for their opponents off of 2 really scrappy rounds where they actually lost the time rather than being able to frag out. So seeing as they're already 8-3 down in this half, and sure, they will be able to... Actually, no, they won't really be able to buy all that much. It's going to be rather scattered buy. Seeing as they don't have the full buy, seeing as they're already 8-3 down, I'm expecting a 9-3 here. Going into this attacking half, I'm really not all that convinced. They're going to need to do some massive change-ups and try to bring it back, especially because they're moving right onto their worst half.
Yeah, they're moving forward here. But just because it might be the worst half for them does not mean that this is going to end early. We got DJ Ready to run, ready to gun. Being very aggressive, but it's the side. Wraith gets the pick. No longer can you be aggressive against this team, because even on the attack, they know how to watch their corners for the defense. And this is beautiful rounds back to back to back here from the side of Handsome Jits. And Soren, I'm looking at this team, and the only thing they can really crutch onto is Drios, who unfortunately doesn't have the best weapon, but does have the best ultimate for trying to defend the site.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do worry that, KJ's ultimate, that lockdown is really more of a stall tactic rather than anything else. It's very rare you actually get people to get locked down. So they're going to need to either find a really good value from it, or they're going to need to be very lucky.
Yeah, they're going to need that luck. But looks like luck's in the hands of Vel, taking out Pain, grabbing himself a gun. It's 3-4, but the weapon disadvantage still pretty large here. Don't have anything except for a Guardian in the hands of Drios now, so slightly upgraded from the Spectre. But here it is, defense ult. That's going to throw these guys off of the site. Complex has to start making his way back. Drios picking off Ricky. 3v3. And they just might be able to do it. Nice stun. And they get it halved. And there's nothing they can do. It's just going to be a stuck gun. And that is going to be the last round of the half, ending 4-8. But they still get all the kills.
Switching sides.
Yeah, I must say, I wasn't expecting the Killjoy to get that much value. That's what I mean by luck there, as they were really lucky that there was just not a almost aggressive re-push in back from the side of Handsome Jits. I mean, they had the rifle advantage, and honestly, they probably have the momentum advantage too. They're shooting confidently. They're winning their gunfights, unlike some members on the side of Acacia. So I'm really surprised we didn't see an immediate response to that KJ lockdown falling. But at the end of the day, the round played out as it did, and that's an 8-4 half, more than what I thought we were going to see out of Acacia going into that last round. And I think this first round in the second half is going to be the real, tempo defining round. If they don't end up winning this pistol, if they cannot get a foot in the ground early, this might be a really, really quick end to this first map, because right now they have not been showing anywhere near of the proficiency that they had on this map as they did yesterday.
Yeah, it's definitely a case in point here for them. They're not locking in what they need to. So looking at now that they have switched sides, though, maybe that can benefit them here, Soren. I want to see them be able to push through with the frenzies with what they got, because two frenzies on the board, that's a very aggressive gun. And with the hands of DJ, they might be able to make it work for them. Obviously, it is an attack-sided map, so 4-8 not detrimental to the side of attack yet. We just have to see how these players of Handsome Jits actually hold it down, because this is actually the toughest game they've been in all season long. I mean, if we look at the stats here, they've won a Haven 13-2 as the most damage dealt to them. So this is already might be a little bit of a struggle for them. And we can see that Stoby grabbing Wraith, but Wraith will grab another and another.
There's not a lot of util left on this defenders either. It just has to be raw force here.
Oh, they lined up. In the teabags. You got to toss some BM out, but you might just be kind of entitled to it when they line up like that. And Pain, bringing the Pain yet again. Pistol round Pain. That's his new nickname. Honestly, he's just been popping off here.
That's a little tragic. Unfortunate there, like you said, just lining up for them, because they did have a pretty good hold. They got spiked down, and the defenders, like I said, didn't have a lot of utility to work off of. They would have had to solely rely on aim, and they were kind of just given the round on the silver platter after they lined up for that. So really strong start coming up from Handsome Jits, but again, that's a little bit of a death sentence, in my opinion, for this Acacia side. They really need to set the pace of this half at the offset and, take that advantage early. Now they're going into an anti-eco round. They did force up just a little bit with sheriffs all across the board, so not a full save at least, but they're still at a massive disadvantage, seeing as it's full Spectres. Only Ricky without anything more than a pistol for this defensive side. But when you have someone like Pain, who's just kind of popping off right now, I don't think it's, it's not going to be an easy task, at least, to try to push onto any of these sites.
Yeah, and not an easy task indeed. Ricky cleaning it up, headshotting down on Adrios. DJ trying to make it work for himself and somehow still managing to stay alive for this attack side. But two players did not stay alive. The Silva and the KJ now down, and these guys have to make it work for them. They lost last round. They're forcing up this one. They can't allow double digits on the board, but Shane ready to try to make it work. DJ will get tagged and has to flutter away. But this is just about timing here. 35 seconds on the clock. And what?
Oh,
Read like a book.
30 seconds left.
But can he do it again? Does he know where Wraith is? He's checking his corners, and he gets that one too. DJ. But here's Complex over on C Long. Might be able to spot them with that Spectre. But DJ has been pumping off with his Sheriff, ready to do it again. And whiffs the shot, but the bomb will go down. 2 against 3. Anything's capable. DJ knows that Payne's right around the corner, but he's pushing into him. And that's a misplay, misstepped, and double down for Payne yet again.
I mean, off the back of some really nice shots, I think they got actually a lot more than they really deserved to get there. But man, DJ coming alive, finding those 2 opening kills, especially on the defenders, which actually were playing quite correctly. They knew they had the advantage. They knew that the attack was really struggling to find an entrance, so they were taking a lot of space all over the map. Very unfortunate they ran into the crosshairs of DJ on that Sheriff, but at the end of the day, they're able to secure the round. That is the anti-eco going into their favor. And now they're at the disadvantage. We're going into the bonus round. We have the full buy coming out for the side of Acacia. And this, in theory, should be a pretty easy round. There was no rifles bought out in the anti-eco by Handsome Jits to bring over here. So it's going to be rifles versus SMGs. But who knows? Maybe we'll see some rapid aggression coming out from this defense here. Payne is going to be popping that Blade Storm, the only ultimate on the board, and is the only ultimate available to even be used right now.
Yeah, they're using what they can, but DJ's using them up, gunning them down. Ready for more, though, as he has to just hold this back and be the aggressor. Speaking of aggression, though, what is the Killjoy doing? Pushing on the site alone as Stoby and DJ take pretty much main A link control, and DJ is just popping off. Vel from the flank, that's one, and DJ is going to get the triple. They flawlessed it, and that's exactly what we need to be seeing here from the attack side. We got an ultimate already on the board here for a player like DJ, and he's been popping off now at the switch of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. The really only bright spark on that last round for Handsome Jits was the Blade Storm in the hands of Payne. Not able to get any value from it, so that's also the Blade Storm lost without any kills to its name. Very convincing round. The flawless comes through. That's exactly what we need to see, because it's both going to pad out the economy for them. It's also going to give them a little bit of a momentum boost. But notably, Payne picking up the operator on round 4, a little bit risky, but also has the potential to be very impactful here, as they might not be expecting this operator, this powerhouse of a weapon, so early on into this half.
Yeah, it's pretty early here, but looking at the op in the hands of Payne, I don't know. This guy is the top frag, and he didn't get there for no reason. Shorty is the secondary, being able to still hold close while the op holds long. This guy knows how to be able to just play around the weapons he picks, but let's see if he can actually get the pick. DJ will get spotted out. The gun, just barely a pixel of it, gives away the position, and Payne knows that DJ's right around this corner. But maybe he's going to start gaslighting himself. No, he is guaranteeing. Yep, they know everything. And that's the headshot down. They didn't know it was an op that they had to deal with, but DJ down. That is an opening of a lifetime, because this jet has been crucial for the attack to actually get themselves on a site. But never mind. Payne's down to Vel, but not going to be able to grab that op. It will eventually get repicked up here.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate they can't find their
30
own,
seconds
but
left.
both teams losing their jets is really influential. Both of them being the top frags for their team, both getting so much value. But on the attack, it's even more devastating, as DJ has been pretty much all of the bite in this team's attack. So losing them early might just be a death sentence.
Might just be, but look at that death sentence. Sentenced by Complex here, and Wraith has to now just hold it down, make sure the bomb can't get planted. He's gonna play it smart, play it time, no time to waste, and from behind it's Vel grabbing one, but this round is done. Defense takes another one away from these poor attackers, and I don't know if they were able to secure that op. They actually weren't, and Payne lost his op. But at the end of the day, they're okay with losing a few guns to take a few rounds here. But timeout active, Soren, what do you have to say to your team if you are on the attack to fix this game?
Oh, I mean, at this point, it's about momentum. They need to start putting these rounds together. Sure, they were able to win the bonus, but when you're only winning when you have the rifle advantage, that's a very tricky sign. So in that situation, you actually have to try to take more advantageous duels. You need to be trying to pull rotations. You need to be trying to set presence all around the map, pull those rotations out. So when you do take the site, even though you won't have the rifle advantage, you should have the man advantage. You can overcome and overwhelm anyone on site. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more. We need to be seeing at least a lot more of a default come out from this attacking side. I think we need to see them just take a little bit even more safer approaches, 2-3-man pushes, hoping that they can catch someone on this defense off guard as they try to aggressively push, because that's what we have been seeing. Payne was pushing pretty hard down a short there. It was just unfortunate that neither one of them really got spotted until DJ got stuck into a corner. I think we need to see a bit more of a default. We need to see a little bit of a slower play style from them and just a little bit more careful. Try to take the more advantageous gunfights rather than just brute forcing through a site.
Yeah, and brute forcing through the site seems to be what they have been kind of relying on, with DJ in the front of everything. But if DJ is going to be at the forefront, he can't be getting taken down by a wallbang op shot, or he can't get taken down by just being gunned down early by a very aggressive player like Complex. But speaking of aggression, Complex goes down through his own smoke by Stovey, who's on the double, and that is going to be a bomb now planted by this breach. And this is a round that they desperately needed. This is all or nothing to take this game back here. DJ might be leading that charge. Shock dart right around the corner will be doing some damage to the Sage, or to the not Sage, to the Jet and the Sova. DJ spotted out. They know where the player is, and right above, Payne looking for something, but unfortunately he finds nothing yet, as Ricky's gonna gun down DJ. Stovey looking for some info. It's a little bit of a lineup.
Ooh, they do bring it to an advantage here, 4-2, with almost full util.
Ooh, Chrome cleaning it up from the side, and Vel helping him out. That's beautiful round there. They needed it. They only lost DJ, who didn't even buy, so I think they're pretty happy about that outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Helps their economy a little bit. They were also able to do that pretty much almost flawlessly. I think they only lost one there. So the economy is in a really nice spot. They do actually have two ultimates on hand as well, the Astral Divide and the Rolling Thunder, both of which are really good for both getting on site and completely halting at points of retake. So if they want to keep playing this almost a little bit more aggressive, but like 5-man push into a site, get a spike down quickly and play off for a post plant, these are two actually really, really useful ultimates. So I would not be surprised if we saw them get used up pretty early on here, as they are looking to compound a few rounds, put this defense on the back foot, take away their economic advantage that they've been building up for the last few rounds. But it looks like they're actually changing it up now. Instead of going for that aggressive push like they did last round, it's far more default. This is actually what I was expecting to see fresh out of that timeout.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh here. Payne, though, wanted to bring that freshness back into the game. They need to try to take that match point advantage. If they don't, they're going to get thrown off the round here. So, oh, but beautiful lineup. But look at that, with the Colat stun from your teammate. That's what you need to be seeing here. It's the team plays that win games, in this breach, although not doing too hot himself, has 13 assists. So, and I say not doing too hot on the scoreboard wise, only in the middle right now, but still crucial in getting a lot of the picks that Payne's picking off here. But Payne needs no help for that one. Chrome now down, the Chrome Dome crushed, as Payne is going to have to back it up and just allow his teammates to bait him, because he's only at 20 HP.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of utility being used up on A. Time is running out as well, so they need to find an entry in. Shane immediately finding that kill.
Oh, wow.
10 seconds left on the clock. They need to do something. They need to find some entry, and they just cannot. Payne to close it out with 3.
They are going to be closing that out, and now match point on the board. Double the score. We saw 6-3. And now they've repeated that doubling happening again, 8-4, and then again 12-6. Every time that you see 2 rounds get taken by these attackers by the side of Acacia, it's Handsome Jits to get 4. It's just consistency over and over again. So with that ratio, I don't know if this is going to look too hot moving into the next map here of, I believe, Fracture.
Yeah, no, Fracture is next map, but there is still time to go. The attack has won a few more. Actually, they're doing a better job on attack than they did when they struggled yesterday. So at least that is some silver lining, but we're already seeing all the ultimates being vested. The Rolling Thunder's utilized. I'm sure once we see the spike go down, we're going to see the Astral Wall as well, as they are in desperate need to start winning these rounds. And at this point, they're playing for survival here at map 1.
Yeah, they're taking that first pick here and just kind of making it run through. But let's see it. Ultimates are flowing. They got everything they need. Stoby's just running and gunning it down, but 2 are dead. The attackers, they've turned on something as they have been very aggressive to get themselves onto the site. And that's beautiful for them to work it around and flawlessing it up right off of after a loss. So I don't know. I'm thinking that they might be able to win a few more rounds here, but we all know what happens after they win 2. Jits wins 4.
Yeah. You know, history would tell that this is a little bit of a tricky spot for them, but especially after getting a flawless, they should be in a pretty good spot. They have the advantage economically now. It's actually going to be a little bit more of a scattered buy since, you know, seeing as despite Pain having an operator, there's still also a stinger on the same side as well. So not perfect buyout from the defense. But again, we saw a kind of a weird combination coming out from that defense with, again, that Rolling Thunder followed by a Hunter's Fury, which I think is just almost a waste of value of both, as you're not getting a whole nother man pushing on, taking advantage of that Rolling Thunder, and you're not going off of any information to find any actual kills or information with the Hunter's Fury. So overall, a little bit weird, and we're seeing what we saw before. This is a winning tactic that they've had where they go in, they use a bunch of utility, they get the spike down, and they immediately pull off of this post plant.
Yeah, they're pulling away from the post plant, but look at what we got. It's DJ not being able to hit a shot, looking for more, but Val from the side grabs Complex, ready to make some more happen. We do have a Hunter's Fury being thrown away, but Payne's got that op, and he's tossing him around. He's ready to do it again. 2v3. This retake's not going to be easy as you gun down Ricky. Payne does have that Blade Storm to try to clutch it, but he wants to save this op. His team cannot afford the economy loss here. He's going to have to start backing it up here. He just barely escapes. But he might walk right into KJ. Oh! They even get the op. Oh, they're not going to pick it up.
I mean, really well played. It's exactly what I, was expecting to see in that situation once they get that spike down. Really just clinical play from them in the post plant. They have the KJ set up. They have the Hunter's Fury on hand. They're just using ultimates extremely well, and because they're playing so well off those ultimates, they're taking advantage. They're getting the round wins, they're getting the kills, and that means these ultimates are stacking up. They've gone through 3 different ultimates in the last 3 rounds. They still have 2 on hand. They are just cycling through these. This is really good ult economy management from them, and right now it seems like despite having a really strong start, they're, the side of Handsome Jits is really struggling to play around these ultimates. You're going to see the Blade Storm get popped, which is kind of the last hope from them. They have nothing to counter either the Astral Wall or the Killjoy if it comes through. So if they can't find some opening picks, they can't get the advantage here early, and they're able, or they let this attacking side get the spike down, I think they're going to be in a really tough position, especially this late into the game.
Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest spot to be in here. I do see an overtime maybe get popped off, but the fact of the matter is Payne pops off even harder, taking out Drios early, not only grabbing that gun down, but he's actually going to leave it here because he knows he has to rotate. He can't risk trying to go for the flank with a rifle, instead just relying heavily on these knives, and he's going for it, but he's only able to whiff it as DJ gets him gunned down. Wraith grabs DJ in the trade, though. 3v3. They still have a disadvantage in the weapons, but they have to run it down. They will finally grab some rifles in their hands, but it's an A push now, as everybody for the side of attack, after using all that util, has to invest it in the post plant A.
Yeah, absolutely. They also did use the Astral Wall, so luckily they don't have to worry about that, but there was so much utility usage. Plus, the KJ Defender is still over on C. They were waiting for a pullback, but it never came through, so now they have 1 player on rotation, and they have almost no utility to try to push back through the site.
This is pretty good, but what a shot. Stubby taking out Shane. Will get spotted out, but doesn't really impact them too much here. So he can just whittle his way through it. But Wraith cleaning it out, and this might just be the end of the game. Now down to a 1v1 now. It's Vel, 3 HP, a dream, and no stars to look up to. It's the Astra who needs to desperately clutch this up for the team, and Ricky might just stick it. And the stick actually gets him killed. Wow. Close game.
Absolutely. Right now, Acacia holding on for their life. It is getting sketchy. 3 health left remaining on Vel there in that clutch up. Masterful masterclass in playing around time. Really well played. And I gotta mention it because I talked about it last round, but they're playing around these ultimates so well. Even though the Killjoy fell early, that means they actually get to save the Killjoy ultimate for this round. And also, thanks to the kills they got, they now have the Blade Storm and the Rolling Thunder back online. They have 3 ultimates. Meanwhile, the side of Handsome Jits just using ultimates whenever they can, trying to secure this last round. The one they need has nothing left on the board. They have no way of countering any of this, so they are just struggling to keep this game alive. This first KJ ultimate is going to be utilized, and there we go. The Rolling Thunder, they're trying to secure this round.
Yeah, they're trying to secure the round, doing a decent job at that, but what a shot. Payne is actually going to be able to gun that one down, and another, but he can't smoke himself off in time, and Chrome is going to be able to punish that. But here's Wraith on the flank. Killjoy versus Killjoy, Drios versus Wraith. And they just have to take their time, and that is why they both swing it at the same time. You can tell that these guys are kind of in sync, but the aim is what is off slightly. Here's Ricky being able to spot out one. Chrome, lots of damage, taken out by Shane, leaving it all to Vel to clutch it again. Will get spotted out, and that will be the end of Vel and the end of game 1. Haven looking pretty clean, and that was the toughest game that we've actually seen here so far from the side of Handsome Jits.
Absolutely, and what looked to be almost a pretty bad massacre on the first half ended up becoming a really competitive match. I think Acacia, despite what the scoreline might say, seeing as it was on the lower end, or I guess 9-13 is not too bad. I think that's still pretty good, but I think that could have been a lot closer. I think if they could have won a few more rounds on the on the defense, or excuse me. Oh, yes, on the defense, sorry. Especially off the back of some of DJ's really insane plays. I still think back to that Sheriff 2K when they had nothing left in the tank. If they could have found a few more rounds, they could have played a little bit better towards the beginning of that second half. Like, for instance, winning the pistol. I think that could have been really competitive, and I think overtime really was a possibility. Unfortunately, they just lost some key rounds that they really should have won. I think back to the 3v2s advantages that they had in that first half that they easily should have won. It's a little unfortunate, but despite the scoreline, I think Acacia showed a good presence. They're going to be going into map 2 feeling, I think, pretty good about themselves despite the loss. But Handsome Jits, it's a win, but that's, like you said, that's the biggest hit I think they've taken so far in at least playoffs. It might be the biggest hit they've taken in a while in this tournament.
Yeah, they've definitely taken it back here a little bit. And looking at the stats, looking at what's going on next, being on Fracture, I think really favors Acacia. And that's why it's a map that they wanted to lock in pretty early here. And, talking about those map picks and bans, you have to really just acknowledge the fact that these guys have been kind of pushing in their own. Obviously, the side of Handsome Jits picked Haven. So with them locking in that map, you could tell that they wanted to win it. And if they struck them a little bit in a struggle, I think that they are going to be in for a treat coming into Fracture here, because we have 2 best of 3s, but I don't think it's going to be a 2-0 sweep quite yet. But we are going to let these teams switch their sides, take some time, go get your drinks, go get your snacks. We'll be right back here on the map of Fracture in Agent Select, so stick around. Minari takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front green. Tries getting it halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half. And he reaches those Yun Min with the win. What a clutch. On one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch playing, and right now truly with this tour de force is gonna spot one and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double, and that's a triple. That's what we like to see.
Unseen. Handedly. No.
Bring them back into this game.
Now going for it, the ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo.
So let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Jector, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Separate the defense. Oh no.
And the spray down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play.
This could be tragic. Finds 2, 3, 4. Come on.
And slow things down a little bit, but now Santee in a 1v3, this is going to be very tricky. Able to find one here. He's going for the second one, and he's got it with the classic out. He's going to find the 3rd kill, a 4-piece for Santee. Actually able to close it out and put them up.
They're gonna save it for one more.
Oh!
Okay, Legend just gonna go ahead and line him up and shut him down. Killer and Lelouch down in one shot.
Push, but Lulu and Chill, he's able to get 2, and that's gonna be the final shot he hears. Of course, a little bit of a flashbang coming around. Kai jumping on top of bench, making a lot of noise. These attackers are on point, and this is where Kai shots. But what a shot! He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we're battling it out, but here we go. Brady from the top of heavens, able to try to do some damage. Last man standing here. What is going to happen now that we got Zambi? He knows that one is underneath him, but Kai is down. Last man, and he gets 2. Last guy, he's got it, and Geo, he's the man to get the pick. Beautiful play, but oh no, does he have enough time? It's going to be down to the wire.
Oh my lord, he actually pulls it.
0.15. That is not okay. He no-scopes it. He wall bangs and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited. His mouse movement is it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon.
1 for 1, it's an ace from Mikey if he can get it, and he's gonna ace it. Mikey, MVP of his team, going in hard. Win it again.
You will not kill
Nice res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front green. Tries getting it halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half, and he reaches those Yun Min with the win. What a clutch. On one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key, getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch playing, and right now truly with this tour de force is gonna spot one and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double. And here we are. Welcome to game 3 of this best of 3 series. It is the upper finals, and we have Handsome Jits versus the wonderful team of Acacia. Handsome Jits handedly took the first one and now has to prove that they can do it again to end this 2-0. I am Edu, joined by my wonderful co-caster Soren. Soren, looking at these agents, what are we ready for?
I'm sorry, I'm taken aback here because I'm actually surprised. We're seeing a rather large changeup on the side of Acacia. First of all, I see that Neon pick. Yesterday, we actually saw the same composition that we're seeing on the side of the defenders, you know, a rather typical composition, but instead of the Rays, we saw Jet. Now we're seeing Chrome on a Neon and DJ, who is top frag on a Jet on Haven and has been their pretty standard Jet player this entire tournament, swap over to the Brimstone, which I think is a really interesting pick. And I actually think I kind of like it. I don't know how he's going to do on the controller, but I mean, he was putting up some really big numbers yesterday, but they really did struggle on this map because they kept trying to go for these jet plays and they kept trying to go with the operator picks, but DJ just was not finding the same value that, you know, a Neon or Raze could get with this team composition that really likes to just force themselves onto his site, you know, very quickly, really aggressively. So seeing them switch off of that jet, that more opping role duelist, and go over to a, you know, Neon who is a little bit risky on this map, is a really good pick in the right hands. But if Chrome can pop off on it, this could be an insanely, I say quick, not in terms of round count, but just in terms of the rounds themselves, seeing as Neon can just run down a site. I think this could be a really interesting game.
And I completely agree. You know, following our Observer Hydra today, it's got to be a lot of gameplay that we have to watch. But again, I like what you said about how the picks really shifted the playstyle that we can expect here from Acacia. It's a lot of fast motion and desperation here to seal the deal for these players to really start popping off. No guarantees that they're going to actually be able to, but let's see this right now. Attack already taking a lot of damage in the head of Stoby by Pain, but might just be another rotation around. Their team is spread thin here, but it's an arcade to B push coming up big as Complex is stuck in tower.
Ooh, Chrome's made themselves in, and there's still one left in tower. They really are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Stuck in, but Vel's gonna get one. Wraith is gonna grab another, and they're trying their best. That is gonna be DJ planting the spike down, though. And it's Pain. What a shot right through the corner of the smoke. Grabs DJ down. Vel good for one, but needed to be good for two, but it doesn't matter. It's 2v3. Defense is pretty happy about this. He's gonna spot out Ricky. Does not want to take that fight. Fakes out a tower push, and Ricky seems to have been spotted, but unfortunately, Chrome a little premature with the shot. Now has to clutch a 1v2, and that nade's gonna definitely prevent him from being able to. And the Pain comes down. Clean round here from the side of defense.
Yeah, I really like the play from the defense there. I mean, Pain coming in towards the end and just able to mop the floor with those last few attackers on site. Really well played. Nothing too surprising, seeing as that was the top frag with 27 kills in the last game. So to see them top of the leaderboard here and early in map 1, not all that surprising. Chrome being left on site, though, for me in that last round is a little bit interesting. They did a really good job making their way on, don't get me wrong. I mean, getting your Neon into a position where they kind of cut off all the members on site from all the members that are still in, spawn is really good, but it felt kind of flat, like they didn't know what they were going to do afterwards.
Right. And, you know, it's that issue of not knowing the next step, the next stage in how you're supposed to be able to play it out that really just kind of matters big here. But let's see if it's going to be a large enough play as these guys are inching their way with some hero rifles on the attack side. Well, no, hero rifles on the attack side, the sheriff on the attack side, a lot of specters on the defense side, and a very aggressive A dish play.
Yeah, absolutely. They try to trap him in there. They do find the one kill, so the Neon being gone is really important because while KO is a rather good initiator and Breach also follows suit, neither one of them are really good at taking a lot of space on the site. They're much better at just flashing or trying to get information. So now being kind of cut off at the knees, missing that Neon, you're losing and lacking a lot of the initiation tools and the space-taking capabilities now on this attack side. And actually, they kind of luck out here not having to really run into much of a defense here at all on A.
Yeah, you know, can you say it luck, or can you just see a retake that's going to be pretty crisply underway here? Christening this round could be good enough for him. I like the position here from the defense. They know how to just play around their teammates and push together. And here it is, the initiation from Pain, really just running his way through it. Vrios is not going to be able to hold too well. Neither is Vel. And it's Pain waiting out the smoke. That's one. Can he get the second? He can. Cleaning it up. Pretty well played, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, really well. They tried doing their pretty actual standard. We saw this many times from Acacia yesterday, where they would go and they would plant for long and just play in that post-plant situation, or post-plant positioning, excuse me, in A main. But when you have that defense rotating over so quickly, especially this double satchel in from the Rays, again, just cuts them off from the rest of their team. They really can't go anywhere. First Cypher falls, and then there's three that are sitting close in A main. They have a massive rifle disadvantage, so they just gotta be outgunned, outshot, and there's not much they can do in that situation. But now, with full rifles, they're in a much better position to do something, and Chrome actually leading their team forward won't be able to get through this without shooting it. Actually, looks like this might be a very aggressive push here. They're going to try to capitalize off of that advantage. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be able to. I don't know if they noticed, but look at that. Oh, wow. Pain will finally go down, but that showstopper stops the show here for Chrome. And what you need to be seeing, let's see it now, as these attackers have to now rotate all the way to B after losing one player, their Neon, their initiator, and they got to just run it down and do the best that they possibly can. But there's no guarantee that that best possibility is even going to be afforded to them yet.
Yeah, a little tragic. Luckily, last round they were able to get a free sight, but the rotation was so quick this time. They're not going to have that luxury. They're going to have to fight their way through, and they don't have a Neon anymore to rely on.
Yeah, they do not have that Neon, and they need to. It's not an easy round for sure to try to take this back with, but could happen. It could happen. Anything is capable here with the way that these guys have been rocking their play style.
Yeah, there's not a lot of utility left from either side either, so they're going to have to rely on this gunplay.
All right. Gunplay indeed. Vel gonna be the closest person to complex here with a flashbang like that, not actually connecting, but it's still gonna make him look away, and that opens it up for getting the kill. Wraith now pushing in with just a Spectre. This bonus round is not gonna be won, and that round was still incredibly expensive for the side of Acacia.
Yeah, that is going to be won, but 3 rifles get dropped along the way. They are going to be able to recoup some of it, but they're going to prioritize getting some of that heavy shielding on hand. And notably, there's actually no ultimates on the field right now. This is one of the rare, round 4s that we've seen where there has not been a consistently dominant player that has, been able to get, say, a Blade Storm or an Overdrive online early on. So we're going to be seeing a 4th round that's going to be played off of almost solo utility. We actually might see them try to put a focus towards getting an ult orb.
Oh, wow. Doubling it up. The defense is cleaning house and securing Spike on their hands here. Arcade is looking like it's being played perfectly. New high score for Wraith as he is gunning these players down. DJ now gone, and the Spike still on the ground. Nothing you can really do except from behind. It's Drios taking a big swing and a leap of faith inside of tower to gun them down. But can he do it again? Vel needing to now clutch this round. He was dead early previously, but can he do it again? Spots him out, but Shane just the quicker on the draw, and that Cowboy's walking away with another round under the belt of Handsome Jits.
Absolutely. Was actually an okay position there as well. They didn't have any utility on hand, but they were 1 kill or even ult point away from getting the Rolling Thunder, and they probably could have picked the one up in Arcade since they had the time. They were just a little bit unsure of whether or not the defense was already pushing in, but they were just waiting for him to peek through. So punished, but talking about the ultimates last round, seeing as there were none last round, we have an abundance this round as there's 5 on the board, 2 for the defense, 3 for the attack, including the attack side Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike, and the Neural Theft. They're in a position to really just play aggressively, push through sight, but again, Chrome just keeps trying to play these really aggressive pushes, but they're being isolated from their own team. There's no one there to find any trades yet again.
Yeah, and trades are what you need, but look at that. Pain was not being able to see, but Ricky, he can see. His eyes are open, and so is his kill feed. Beautiful job. 6-2 now for Ricky. 3 ultimates on the board, but talking about ultis, Acacia, they've been farming some, and they have a lot to work with. Looking at this now, it's going to be just up to how they can play out the ult round. They have full buys, and I want to see them actually start popping these.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them in the last map really use them to their advantage, kind of rotating through them, and keeping at least one ultimate in a round for a hot minute. I think it was almost 4 or 5 rounds in a row, and that was kind of off the back of them starting to put a serious contending couple rounds together towards the end. So if they can continue that, if they could replicate that same performance that they had on Haven, they could easily claw back from this. I was gonna say I would, love to see a timeout so they can maybe stop and recoup, get the mental back in check, try to reevaluate what their plan is. But it looks like they're changing up their strategy now. Spike's still back in spawn, and they're playing a much more default position where they're just kind of waiting to see if there's any aggression from the defense. If they don't find anything, it may be a matter of just trying to pick a site and then just ult bombing them using 2 or 3 of these ultimates, get that rotation started, allow some of their team to start building up ults next round, and just try to play around them rather than trying to rely on that, gunplay that we've been forced to see them kind of use as a crutch the last couple.
Yeah, and that crutch might get gunned down pretty quick here.
A bit of a lineup coming up from Stoby. Won't actually use it, but that would have cleared out pretty much the entirety of ropes, or at least silenced them, which would have been really nice in this situation. But here we go. That's 2 ultimates on hand, just like I said, and they are just going to brute force their way on site. And Chrome, again, pushed up, but now has a little bit of their teammates supporting them here. So a much better position to start off.
Yeah, a better position to be in, but let's see if they can keep that going with Complex already gunning down Chrome. And they have used a lot of ults here. I wanted them to, and they definitely delivered that, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that delivery going.
Yeah, maybe a little bit premature with some of them. I do like seeing them used, but maybe not in this manner.
Definitely a capability. Oh, but there it is. That round is going to go down. Ricky still cleaning it out. I gotta hand it to them. They faced off against 4 ultimates, still took it away with only losing 1 player. If anything kind of gives you a little bit of faith, though, they might be able to bring it back. No guarantee. Could be a possibility, but I don't know. It's not the easiest game to try to clutch this up with.
No, especially seeing as this map is sometimes, and especially with these compositions, far more of an attack-sided map. So to see this be a little bit so one-sided when you're on the attack side already is not spelling great things, but I would love to see a timeout. I wanted them to use some ultimates, and I think they, like you said, I think they were a little bit premature there. I don't think they got as much value as they probably could have. And I don't really like that last orbital strike in the final few seconds. It was already cutting it close. Sure, you're risking it to see if you could scrape together a win, but now you're stuck with 1 ultimate left in the tank. It's putting you in a rather weird spot going into these next couple rounds.
Yeah, a weird spot, but they might be able to really clean this up. It's a possibility. What you can do with it. Complex here. That's exactly what you need to be seeing. Spraying him down. Shane's joining him in, and everybody is feeling the pain with a triple kill coming from this Raze. This is not looking too hot. It is defense-sided, but again, I really am questioning if Acacia is going to be in it to win it against the team of Handsome Jits. First in the seed, and yet still absolutely popping off this team.
Yeah, no, they're playing this incredibly well. They're changing up their strategy very often. It's very rare that we've seen the same 2 or 3 defenders on a site. We constantly have that 1 player sitting at least towards spawn to allow for a really quick rotation, which is really good when you have this team with this Neon and you're expecting those very quick rotations to come out quite frequently. I really like what we're seeing from the defense, and it's showing how effective it is. This is a very one-sided scoreline, and it's massive props to the side of Handsome Jits. They are just playing this map almost like it's a solved map. So clean from them. Yeah,
and they even have ultimates to work with here. The Rolling Thunder and the orbital strike right next to each other could be detrimental, but they have to have some more info. But look at this. It might just rain down, but he's second guessing himself. He is going to have to wait because noise is being made on A. If Neon had not made that noise, they could have had that. But again, hindsight 2020. But look at that. Behind you is going to be Ricky gunning them down. Clean round for them indeed, and ready to do it again. They might just be able to seal the deal here.
Spike down A.
Rolling Thunder is going to be invested to keep them off site, and there's now 3 defenders here. This is a really good hold. They still have some utility as well, but Stoby trying to see if they can find a way to get that spike. That spike being down on site is kind of a tragedy for them. They're gonna have to do it all, but without a duelist, without that Neon, and only having the KO with a singular flash, that's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be a tall order.
A tall order here, but if any team's able to do it, it might be these attackers gunning it down, taking out Pain. That's pretty large. They need to just try again to finish off this round. And that is going to be a push up of the Sench. They're ready for more. No one's going to bench quite yet.
A little unfortunate placement there coming out from the Cypher cage. A little bit too far out. Gave a little bit of a crack in the cage itself, allowing them to see them to swing through. I think if that's a little bit closer towards the boxes and cuts off that line of sight, I think they're actually able to get on the site perfectly fine. Maybe take a little bit damage, take a little bit of damage through the spray, but I think that possibly could have been even a winnable round for them, as they were able to bring it back to a 2-2 after being, I think, down 4-2 there. So we're still seeing signs of life coming out from these attackers. We are going to be getting a timeout from them, though. Again, I would have personally liked to see it a little bit sooner, as they've only been able to pick up the singular bonus round, again, where they had the rifle advantage. I'm getting a little bit worried, because we're seeing time and time again, the only time they can take a win is either they have the ult advantage, or if they have the gun advantage, inherently, you know, having the economic advantage as well. But seeing as we're going into this, even when they use the 4 ultimates in a single round, they weren't able to convert. I'm worried they're struggling a little bit here. I feel like Handsome Jits is feeling nice, confident. They're just going to keep to their game strategy, keep playing very, very loose, very almost reactive in nature, but it's allowing them to be very flexible all around the map. So I think we're gonna not see too much change. I think we need to see a lot of change coming out from this attacking side, though. And I think we're seeing a 2-man split, just a full push. We haven't really seen this much aggression towards B, I think, since the first pistol round.
Yeah, and that aggression might come in handy, but with stuns not really being able to connect, it's Wraith getting that double down to really anchor the site. Beautiful gameplay. And I think they might do it again and again, forcing these guys back and back again and again. And I don't know. Do you think that they're going to be able to really just keep this game at bay?
Seeing as they've only lost 1 so far, Handsome Jits are in a really good position. If somehow they could pull some of these rounds together, I think if they could pull this, you know, second half or this first half, you know, together, finish maybe 9-3, even 8-4. I think there's a world of possibility. But now Vel sitting up in tower is stuck. Not much room for movement.
Last player standing.
They need to do it all, and it's just not going to be enough. Complex finds 3 in the round. Yeah, no, it's. Even when they change it up, even when they try to change the pace, I mean, when you have someone like Wraith, who's single-handedly on site, by themselves, by the way, that was another little switch-up change. They only had 1 sitting on site. They had 1 sitting in spawn. They had, you know, the other 3 on A. When Wraith is by themselves sitting in tower, able to find 2 kills, bringing it to an advantage just by themselves before their team's able to even, you know, get the rotation off, it's a tall order. It's hard. It's getting harder round to round to see how somehow Acacia are going to drag themselves out of this.
Yeah, it's round to round toughness, but capabilities are really what adds up here, and they're more than capable to finish this game off.
Yeah, absolutely. Second seed in this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to pull a miracle run. We saw them in the last map, you know, put a good few rounds together towards the end. But, you know, they fell at the last hurdle, losing a little bit unluckily because Pain was able to just pop off in the last round and secure, I think, 2 or 3 kills. So they need to be a little bit more, you know, tight together. They need to play a little bit more constrained, almost a little bit conservatively at times. And I just need to get the frags.
Yeah, they need to secure those picks here. It's going to be hard if they can't just work their way through it. But I'm looking at Chrome. He's kind of needing to come up large here if he really wants to be taking the cake here for the team.
Absolutely. There is going to be a lot of utility being dumped on the site to try to get some information, try to prevent this plant. But the plant does go down. It's still a 5v5 retake, but so much utility by both teams is being invested. This retake is going to be very, very tricky all around.
Yeah, pretty tricky round. Might be possible to clutch this up, but I don't know. I'm not too positive about how they've been playing this out here.
There we go. Chills go back and forth. These last two defenders need to do it all here on this site. They have the advantage just slightly.
One enemy remaining.
Stoby does fall, however. Complex left in this last position. Only has the stim to their name. Finds one. Can't find the second. Time sticking. And that is going to be the second round on the board for Acacia. And the 9-3 is becoming a possibility more and more by the second, especially after kind of a convincing round there.
Yeah, a pretty convincing round. Obviously, 9-3 right around the corner. Honestly, 10-2 around the corner with how defense has been taking this. And they might have lost last round, but they still have two ultimates that are deadly for information gathering and all other purposes. So, I don't know. Could be anybody's game, but it's telling me that this game is heavily favoring the previous seed #1 and looks like consistent seed #1.
Absolutely. And here we go. We're seeing the ultimates get popped, the utility being usaged, and there we go. Rolling Thunder, null command. Everyone is trying to get in on the action in one of these last two rounds here. And Chrome actually has taken a lot of space trying to take an advantageous push through here to smoke.
Wow, Chrome is going to be able to grab one, but Pain cleaning it up, getting two. Now Complex leveling the playing field, looking for some more. Ricky from the side. They have a little bit of an advantage here from the attack side. They have Stoby on the flank, but he's known. And with that information, they have to somehow manage to work their way around. This X marks the spot, kind of crossfire going on. One in spawn, one in main. It's going to end dramatically with Complex leveling it up with another kill. And from the side, it's a 4K. That is what you need to be seeing. And they're bringing that heat beautifully.
And there we go. Complex being able to pull out the 4K to kind of avenge the fact they weren't able to clutch out the last round. That brings them to 9-3, still on the cards. I personally am a believer, seeing as I caster curse every single map I'm on. I have to believe in some curses. But I do believe there is the opportunity for a comeback here. They just need to win this out. They need to have a really strong finish to this half. If they can have a pretty strong mental going into that next half, going over to the defensive side, I think anything is possible. I am a little bit worried, though, because this Neon was really supposed to shine here. I was really excited to see what was going to happen. Chrome, though, bottom of the leaderboard, or now towards the bottom of the leaderboard, 3-11. Not finding as much frag potential, but maybe on defense they could really show how much, playing a little bit more aggressively on the defensive side can bring to shake up this map.
Yeah, and they're going to have to shake this up because something just is not working for them. It's been pretty stressful no matter what on either team. Keeping them at bay here is not going to be the easiest way to play it.
I must wait a moment.
They could do it. They could. It's a risk that has to be taken soon.
I'm a little bit worried about this push, though. The Brimstone sitting over towards A. The only smokes, and there we go. That is actually going to push back the attack, and it looks like they're going to be making their way over towards A. Brimstone just making sure that there's no one moving on to site as they're in a prime position to take this. They've pulled out almost a full rotation. 3 still sitting over towards B, and there we go. Utility being used, and they're going to have site practically for free.
Yeah, they're going to crack their way through the site, but I mean, practically for free. I don't know about that. It seems like it's costing them a lot more than a kidney here. Stoby around the corner looking for something. Flashbanging. Just needs to try to hold something down, but it's no guarantees with how these guys have been performing.
I know exactly where he is thanks to that flash as well.
10 seconds left.
Ooh. Should be taking this here.
Yeah, finishing out the half 10-2. Quite a one-sided affair, I must say. It was really, really strong half. Have to give massive props to Handsome Jits. They are showing why they are the #1 seed. I was a little worried about Acacia because this was one of the maps they more struggled on yesterday, but there's still a lot of hope. And actually, on this map specifically, there was a big turnaround, and they were actually had a better half on the second, even though it was switching over to the attack last time. Maybe just to switch up, maybe just to change of pace, moving from the attack to the defense is all they need. Take that second, take this a little bit, extend it between round phase as a mini timeout, get the head back on straight, get the mental back in check, understand what you need to do, and start playing a little bit of a better game. And we're already seeing Chrome using that Neon to take a lot of space, already pushed up through doors, waiting for some sort of a push, but nothing's going to be found. There's going to be a massive default coming out from the attacking side as they're expecting this aggressive push from the defense.
Yeah, they're expecting it.
Spike
It might be able to
down,
pay off
attacker
pretty
spawn.
well. I like the push that we're seeing here from the attack. They have to just manage to get from both sides, converge onto sand, and make sure that they blast it into glass. And that's what's happening with a nice double from Wraith. What a round. Handsome Jits are always so fun to watch because they know exactly how to play around each other. And that's really what we're expecting them to do. And it's also what they're doing for us. So, I don't know. No guarantee here. But I think they might be able to seal the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have someone like Wraith who just seems to be everywhere in the shadows, finding those opening kills, it's a little unfortunate if you're on the side of Acacia. Wraith
Yeah, a
finding
little unfortunate.
4. Finding 4 in the round. Really strong stuff coming out from Handsome Jits, and they're in a really good position. They're now 11-2 up. I mean, going up 10-2 always has to feel pretty good. It has to feel great when you've also won the pistol. Puts you in a prime position to win this anti-eco round. But we are going to be seeing a bit of a, a scattered buy, a force buy coming out from the defense. Acacia picking up a few stingers, make that up more than a few stingers. That's 4 of them. Pick it up at the very end as they're going to try to force and make something happen. Try to prevent Handsome Jits to get to series and map point here.
Yeah, and they might be able to seal the deal there. Might be able to. It's not guaranteed, but definitely a possibility.
Lots of utility being used. The Sim gonna get a few of their teammates, but they're running into so much Cypher traps.
Spike down B.
Wow. It's just, I don't know. So much has been forcing these players just to not be able to play how they ideally want to. So this game has been pretty free for them, and it looks like this final might just be on the back of Stoby here, because if they get that match point this early, it's GG. There's no way for the comeback, but looks like Stoby is going to be able to bring it back, clutching it up and keeping his teammates in, returning the BMing that we've seen all day. And now with that all day tea bag stewing and brewing, who's going to be taking the cake here? Obviously, it's not going to be easy here for the side of Acacia.
No, they're still showing a lot of effort. They're still showing that grit and determination. They're refusing to take this and let them get this map point and series point easily. That was quite a convincing win as well, doing a lot of damage, taking out the Spectres of the larger buy on the side of the attack. And now they're going to be stuck with only 3 sheriffs to their name, and it looks like they're going to try to take advantage of this gun advantage early as they're running into the far side of ropes. Meanwhile, the rest of the attack side is 4-man pushing, trying to overwhelm this site by numbers.
Yeah, sight by numbers here, but look at that nade, tossing it back, and what a clean landing for it. But Drios, he's managed to stay alive. Unfortunately, I cursed him, but it's all right. Attack have a decent hold on A, but this flank, 1 from Dish, 2 from main, they're going to have to make their way either to B, or if they plant this bomb, it's not going to be the best kind of option for them.
Ooh. 2 coming from 1 to the other. Now the Fade is separated through. Shane is trapped on site with no support whatsoever.
Yeah, it's pretty tough here. Oh, Chrome! Breaking the Chrome Dome on Ricky. I know I've said that a lot, but This guy's got a shiny head with that neon hair. And now they are going to be able to take another round. I love the fact that they still are just returning the BM. You can tell that these guys are not happy with how they've been treated by the enemies yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything is on the line here. This is the winners finals. Whoever wins this does end up making it to the grand finals scheduled for next week sometime. So everyone is trying to secure their spot earlier on here, get the rest of their Sunday off. But right now, it looks like it's more of a fight for their lives, for hope here coming out from Acacia, as they're putting a few rounds together, but as normal, when you split the first 2 rounds 1-1, it usually ends up going 2-2 overall, with the winner of the first round picking up the fourth. And it looks like it is a very good possibility, as 2 defenders are still left with Spectres. They're still at the rifle disadvantage now.
There.
And if they can't convert this, they're going to be going to map in series points. So they need to find some early picks, and they need to find them without taking too much damage in response.
Unfortunately, though, they might just be taking a lot of damage over here by Dish, but what a shot. Ricky somehow managed to stay alive with a lucky number 13 of HP. Chrome having to rotate now away. This Neon luckily has the option to move quickly compared to any other agent, so that rotation won't be really felt too much, but this attack, they are all up in Dish, 1 in main, and they still have so many people anchoring that B site for some reason.
I don't think they're aware of the cipher that's already pushed up through main. If this Neon wraps around, sees if they can get a good shot from main, they might just be taken off guard. Just like that. Wraith again in the walls, seemingly.
In the walls, ready for more. It's Pain
30 seconds left.
grabbing another one, and I think this is going to be match point because these guys were not ready for a hit. They have to rotate all the way through CT. They don't have the best rifling. They have a Spectre, and that's really all that they got outside of Stoby's Vandal. But with the Spectre on your Cypher, you're not going to be able to do too much here, forcing themselves out and hopefully keeping themselves in this game, though.
Yeah, neither of the other rifles that are down are in anywhere good spots to be picked up, if I remember. This is a dangerous position, especially as they read them.
Last player standing.
That's got to hurt.
Very unfortunate, but time will tick, and it looks like the spike is just going to be, excuse me, not diffused. In fact, the exact opposite. It's going to be detonated as the attackers secure map and series point here. Handsome Jits, 1 step away from stamping in their spot in the grand finals. Stoby able to secure a rifle, at least going into this final round. And seeing as they've been trying to force up every round since pretty much the half split, they're in a really bad spot here. It's going to be a Sheriff, a Guardian, a few, Vandals and Phantoms, but Light Shields mostly all around. It's crappy, but they're going to need to do something outrageous. Pull a rabbit out of a hat here in order to keep themselves alive in this game.
Yeah, and I think it might be pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but it feels like the race between the turtle and the hare right now, because they're actually going so slow here and the attack is going so quick. The hares are just a hair away from taking this game, 1 pick away, and they're ready for it. But with how they like to push A, with just 1 person sitting in main, not making a lot of noise, and instead going all drop, the recent fracture changes has really forced these guys to change up how they like to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of redefined how you take a site and how you even hold it. And it looks like it's going to be ultimate usage here as they're trying to secure their final spot.
Yep, they got the Rolling Thunder for the post plant, and now the only ultimate they had for defense, Drios now down. That Sentinel will not be able to get them any info for the retake. For the blind, while blinded, still gets the pick. Stoby gets the straight, though, and right around is Pain, and Pain actually gets DJ off the flash, and that is the end of this final. And we still have the lower final to go, but GG all the way for the side of Handsome Jits.
Absolutely. Really, really well played for them. I mean, it's hard to praise a team when just everything they're doing is really good. It seems like they constantly had Acacia's number. They had a really good strategy, and they were just playing very flexibly. They constantly were changing up their sites. They were constantly changing up the agents in which were holding different areas. overall incredibly flexible for them, and at
Mhm.
the end of the day, very dominant. Even though
Yeah.
map one got to 9 rounds for their opponents, it was off the back of a little bit of a hero run based around some ultimates. They had pretty good control over Haven the entire time in this map, besides a few loose rounds where there's some real like bright sparks on the side of Acacia. They had control of it here, which is very scary because this was the number one seed coming in. Handsome Jits were a force to be reckoned with, and Acacia's number two, and they kind of dealt with them quite handily. So I'm a little bit concerned for the opponents. Handsome Jits are really showing that they are just another tier right now.
They definitely are at that S tier level here for these players. And now that we have the next game going on, we're going to be following those losers. Going into that loser bracket, I do need to see how they're going to be able to compete now against the winner of the loser semifinals here. And that was going to be, of course, between the two teams here of, let me double check. Yes, Team Fish Taco and Lionheart Esports. And Team Fish Taco, they're the last team to actually take a point against Acacia outside of Handsome Jit. So I think if it's going to be a comeback here, Team Fish Taco beating the team who beat them and then proceeding to go to the grand finals, that would be a great comeback story. But Acacia, I want to see a rematch against that. I need to see how they can play against Handsome Jits again because, Acacia was a powerful team. I did not expect them to play that way so far. So honestly, anything's really here as we're going to be going into that lower bracket final, but we still have to wait for the semifinal to end and get those teams ready. So stick around if you guys want to check out the bracket on Battlefy !bracket. But me and Soren will catch you in the next one in just a minute here.
He no-scopes it, he wallbangs, and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited, his mouse movement. Is it down? But that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away a position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch up at... Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon. One for one, it's an ace from Mikey if he can get it, and he's gonna ace it. Mikey, MVP of his team, going in hard. Win it again.
You will not kill
Nice res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front of Green. Tries getting in halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half, and he greets those Yun Min with the win.
clutch.
What a clutch. On one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Great is giving away a position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch up and right now, truly with this tour de force is gonna spot one and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double, and that's a triple.
God.
That's what we like to see. Are now going for it. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today. Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo. Let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Checker, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Separate the defense. Oh no!
And the spray down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play.
This could be tragic. Finds 2, 3, 4. Come on.
And slow things down a little bit, but now Santee in a 1v3, this is going to be very tricky. Able to find one here. He's going for the second one, and he's got it with the classic out. He's going to find the third kill, a 4-piece for Santee. Actually able to close it out and put them up.
They're gonna save it for one more. But okay, Legend just gonna go ahead and line him up and shut him down. Killer and
chill. He's able to get 2, and that's going to be the final shot he hears. Of course, a little bit of a flashbang coming around. Kai jumping on top of bench, making a lot of noise. These attackers are on point, and this is where Kai shots. But what a shot! He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we're battling it out, but here we go. Brady from the top of heavens, able to try to do some damage. Last man standing here. What is going to happen now that we got Zambi? He knows that 1 is underneath him, but Kai is down. Last man, and he gets 2. Last guy, he's got it, and Geo, he's the man to get the pick. Beautiful play, but oh no, does he have enough time? It's going to be down to the wire.
Oh my lord, he actually pulls it.
0.15. That is not okay. He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited, his mouse movement is it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with 1 spray and then a clean.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon.
1 for 1, it's an ace from Mikey if he can get it, and he's gonna ace it. Mikey, MVP of his team, going in hard. Win it again.
You will not kill my
Nice res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only 1 bullet, decides to reload right in front of Green. Tries getting in halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half, and he makes those Yun Min with the win. What a clutch on 1, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key, getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with 1 spray and then a clean. Clutch playing, and right now truly with this tour de force is gonna spot 1 and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double, and that's a triple.
God.
That's what we like to see.
Single-handedly! No!
Them back into this game.
We're now going for it. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo.
So let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Checker, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Separate the defense. Oh no!
and the spring down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play.
This could be tragic. Finds 2, 3, 4. Come on.
And slow things down a little bit, but now Santee in a 1v3, this is going to be very tricky. Able to find 1 here. He's going for the second one, and he's got it with the classic out. He's got to find the 3rd kill, a 4-piece for Santee, actually able to close it out and put them up.
They're gonna save it for 1 more. But okay, Legend just gonna go ahead and line them up and shut them down. Killer and Lelouch down in 1
Little
shot.
push, but Lulu and Chill, he's able to get 2, and that's gonna be the final shot he hears. Of course, a little bit of a flashbang coming around. Kai jumping on top of bench, making a lot of noise. These attackers are on point, and this is where Kai shots. But what a shot! He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we're battling it out, but here we go. Brady from the top of heavens, able to try to do some damage. Last man standing here. What is gonna happen now that we got Zambi? He knows that 1 is underneath him, but Kai is down. Last man, and he gets 2. Last guy, he's got it, and Geo, he's the man to get the pick. Beautiful play, but oh no, does he have enough time? It's gonna be down to the wire.
Oh my lord, he actually pulls it.
0.15. That is not okay. He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited, his mouse movement is it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with 1 spray and then a again.
You will not kill
Nice
my
res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front green. Tries getting it halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half. And he reaches those Young Min with the win.
clutch.
What a clutch. Not one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch playing, and right now truly with this tour de force is gonna spot one and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double and that's a triple. God. That's what we like to see.
Unseen. What?
Handedly!
No!
Bring them back into this game!
Are now going for it. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo.
So let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Checker, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Oh, man. Separate the defense. Oh, no!
And the spray down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play.
Now this could be tragic. Finds 2, 3, 4. Come on.
And slow things down a little bit, but now Santee in a 1v3, this is going to be very tricky. Able to find one here. He's going for the second one, and he's got it with the classic out. He's going to find the 3rd kill, a 4-piece for Santee, actually able to close it out and put them up.
They're gonna save it for one more.
Oh!
Okay, Legend just gonna go ahead and line him up and shut him down. Killer and Lelouch down in one
The
shot.
push, but Lulu and Chill, he's able to get 2, and that's gonna be the final shot he hears. Of course, a little bit of a flashbang coming around. Kai jumping on top of bench, making a lot of noise. These attackers are on point, and this is where Kai shots. But what a shot! He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we're battling it out, but here we go. Brady from the top of heavens, able to try to do some damage. Last man standing here. What is gonna happen now that we got Zambi? He knows that one is underneath him, but Kai is down. Last man, and he gets 2. Last guy, he's got it, and Geo, he's the man to get the pick. Beautiful play, but oh no, does he have enough time? It's gonna be down to the wire.
Oh my lord, he actually pulls it.
0.15. That is not okay. He no-scopes it. He wall bangs and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited. His mouse movement is it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon.
1 for 1. It's an ace from Mikey if he can get it, and he's going to ace it. Mikey, MVP of his team, going in hard. Win it again.
You will not kill
Nice
my
res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front green. Tries getting it halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half. And he reaches those Young Min with the win.
clutch.
What a clutch. Not one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean. Clutch playing, and right now truly with this tour de force is gonna spot one and only able to get it, but that's gonna be a double and that's a triple.
God.
That's what we like to see.
Unseen. What? Handedly! No!
Bring them back into this game!
Are now going for it. forth. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo.
Let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Jector, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Separate the defense. Oh no!
And the spray down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play.
Now this could be tragic. Finds 2, 3, 4. Come on.
And slow things down a little bit, but now Santee in a 1v3, this is going to be very tricky. Able to find 1 here. He's going for the second one, and he's got it with the classic out. He's going to find the 3rd kill, a 4-piece for Santee. Actually able to close it out and put them up.
They're gonna save it for one more. But okay, Legend just gonna go ahead and line him up and shut him down. Killer and Lelouch down in one
The
shot.
push, but Lulu and Chill, he's able to get 2, and that's going to be the final shot he hears. Of course, a little bit of a flashbang coming around. Kai jumping on top of bench, making a lot of noise. These attackers are on point, and this is where Kai shots. But what a shot! He no-scopes it, he wall bangs, and he aces it. That's what we're battling it out, but here we go. Brady from the top of heavens, able to try to do some damage. Last man standing here. What is going to happen now that we got Zambi? He knows that 1 is underneath him, but Kai is down. Last man, and he gets 2. Last guy, he's got it, and Gio, he's the man to get the pick. Beautiful play, but oh no, does he have enough time? It's
I
going
don't
to be
think
down to
so.
the wire.
Oh my lord, he actually pulls it.
0.15. That is not okay. He no-scopes it. He wall bangs and he aces it. That's what we love seeing. Kai is excited. His mouse movement is it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away a position, and Lucky getting a 4K with 1 spray and then a clean clutch up.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon.
1 for 1. It's an ace from Mikey if he can get it, and he's gonna ace it. Mikey, MVP of his team, going in hard. Win it again.
You will not kill
Nice
my
res coming out. Spots Minari, takes him down. Only 1 bullet, decides to reload right in front of Green. Tries getting in halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half. And he makes those Yun Min with the win.
clutch.
What a clutch. On 1, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with 1 spray and then a clean clutch up. And right now, Truly with this tour de force is going to spot 1 and only able to get it, but that's going to be a double, and that's a triple. That's what we like to see.
Unseen.
Single-handedly
No!
bring them back into this game.
Are now going for it. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly the thing that we want to be seeing out of Lemon. He's going for the ace here, and he's going to try to close it out with the overdrive. Ace for Lemon off the back of really beautiful high tempo.
Let's see what's going to happen moving forward. We do have a Paranoia getting thrown out, and what a spray down. He gets himself 3. He gets himself 4. Jector, you're just better at that, and now defenders get the match point.
Separate the defense. Oh no!
And the spray down B.
It's got to be in Fire's hands. Of course, the Vandal, very powerful, able to get himself 2 picks, and able to get all of them. What a beautiful play. And here we go. Agents are being locked in. It is the lower bracket final. I, of course, am going to be the host of the day, Edu, joined by my wonderful, sexy co-caster Soren.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We have a little bit of a banger and a little bit of a rematch here in the lowers finals. Acacia, who we just saw, unfortunately, getting knocked down by Handsome Jits, is going to be taking on Team Fish Taco. We saw this yesterday. It was actually a very close affair, and we're going to be starting off on Split, which is not that big of a surprise. We're actually going Split, Ascent, Fracture. And seeing as yesterday they went to Haven and Pearl, and either team individually kind of got blown away on those two maps, not surprised we're not seeing them here. But ending up on Fracture, if we do end up going, to a map 3, that was a very close game, so not surprised at all. But looking at the current matchup here, we're seeing a little bit of an interesting pick. We have the double duelist pickup for the attacking side. We got to see the Rays and the Jet getting picked up, as well as an Astra, which I think is a little bit interesting. I don't know how Astra is going to play on this map. Shore is still a really good agent, but I think maybe even a Brimstone or an Omen is probably the best on this map. And meanwhile, on the defender side, we actually see a Viper get picked up as a lone. Oh, sorry, not a lone, as a companion to the Astra pickup as well. So we got a double duelist going up against a double controller. I think we have a banger of a map one here set up for us.
Yeah, a pretty banging map on Split. Let's see if it's going to be good enough. I love the team compositions. It is going to be, as I can see, mirrored outside of the double controller versus the Sentinel Haxa. So honestly, I've seen a lot of double controller coming out here for the side of Team Fish Tacos before. I don't know if it's going to be the ideal play, but having a Viper as a pseudo Sentinel is pretty solid, especially since, you know, the Viper Q is a lot more sustainable than you actually have with the Cypher setups over on B. So if they know how to play around those lineups and set that up for them, this could be a game that is going to be pretty heated up by this difference in actual team comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we get into the first round here, I think we're going to see it on show a little bit, as this double, duelist composition is going to be just taking a site by force. They're running at it. They're already sending in flashes, and they're just going to double satchel their way in, possibly catch this Killjoy off guard.
Wow. Doubling their way in. Chrome is going to intro and get that first blood down for this semifinals. But now it's Chrome. He's still anchoring it down. Can he flex what he needs to? That's one. And that's not two. Kairos is going to be able to get that trade. The Taco team is needing to try to get the vengeance down here. They got knocked down to this lower bracket by the team they're facing, Acacia. So can they avenge themselves and prove that they deserve to be here? Kairos, prove that for us. Prove that for everybody. Classic in hand, and it's nothing. But Ali could do it. Never mind.
Cool. The Frenzy, a cruel mistress, sometimes could be a mini AR, and at some points can be highly inaccurate, as you can see there. Unfortunately, just not able to even bring it down to 2 left standing. That is going to be quite a convincing round win for the attacking side that is already showing a lot more promise than we saw on the last map that we just casted for them. And, it's already looking much better. That aggression that we saw is already being supplemented. We're no longer seeing the Neon kind of go off onto their own and get isolated. It seems like a team effort. Everyone taking site, everyone's backing each other up, and they're winning the team fights, or excuse me, the duels that they need to. So overall, very impressive start. And it looks like they're going to just do the same approach and just run into B.
Yeah, running into B here and ready to go, though. It is a massacre here from Acacia. They want to take the energy out that they got drained from by that previous upper final here. They need to just use a team as a punching bag before they jump back up. And unfortunately, this round has demonstrated that poor team seems to be Team Fish Tacos, who I do enjoy quite a bit, but no guarantees as Haxa inching their way closer and closer. Just the Sheriff might need to start turning on those hacks.
Absolutely. Team Fish Taco is a very good team. Unfortunately, was knocked to the lowers by this Acacia team, but Haxa was a bright point, so even though they're in a tricky spot, they can cause some damage. Fortunately, not this time.
Yeah, they definitely did what they needed to, though. That round is what they want for them to really just pop off I see that they are able to, now buy here for defense, but looking at these buys, I still think that players like Stubby have been popping off with the Sheriff. Don't need a gun because in the way that split plays out, there's not a whole lot of long distances that can't be one-tapped by the Sheriff. The only one I can really think of is the CT and T side areas, and of course, maybe mid shop all the way to mid nest. So I don't know. Well, let's see how that Sheriff actually does in the hands of this player. But already the aggression from Chrome running himself all the way down and forcing players off with a nade.
Yeah, really well timed, really well placement there, taking so much space towards mid, and then finding that almost a lineup to completely clear out any aggression from Vent. Really nice stuff coming out from this very aggressive attack set.
Yeah, pretty aggressive attack. Crescent right around the corner, looking for more. Might be able to do what he can, though. Flashbang over. DJ. Can he make the moves? Nade beautifully throws DJ back into the fray here. But these attackers, they're spread thin. 1 minute on the clock. The defense finally getting antsy, but finally getting picks as well. Vel running gun grabs one. K-Rose needing to get the trade. Will not spot him. And that spike being down does not really differ these players. And there's Vel getting another one. Picking up that gun. Making the waves here. And it's down to a 2v3.
Yeah, Vel playing really well. Not even aware of the player on stage.
Trinity, you're welcome.
Wow.
30 seconds left.
Vel's doing just clean, but Haxa taking the opportunity where his teammate left off to get one. But Vel on a road to an ace, grabbing another one. This Astra coming up astronomically here. The stars have aligned, and can we see it? We can't. Crescent robbing it away. The Crescent Moon wanes over this player, and Astra falls. Vel needed to clutch that for the bonus to win it, but doesn't really matter. That was a clean round regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a round we were expecting to go that way. They had the rifle advantage. But like you said, Vel just coming alive. They're finding the 4K. That's going to do some massive things in this game. One, that's going to be a massive boost to the economy. Vel completely buying out. Still has 3.5K left credits in the bank. So they're really feeling really good in the wallet. Meanwhile, that also gave them the Astral Divide. That's actually a really early ultimate for them because I believe that is an 8 ultimate point cost ultimate. So very, very costly, but they get it early, and that could be a high impact piece of utility here, and it could be really, really well used to completely shut down the push here.
Oh, shutting down the push from attack. How? And they're all dead. It's gone. They pushed in and they lined up for nothing. Drios on a triple just from lurking on A. You leave this Viper alone and they are going to body everybody. Even the team players are questioning what just happened.
Yeah, a bit of a massacre. They all just seem to line up for him, all clumped up. And when you have the, rifle advantage, it just makes them easy pickings. But now Team Fish Taco go to be back onto the full buy out. Only a few light shields around. But at this point in the game, when you're rocking Judges, you're rocking Vandals, and you're this high level in skill level, it's not all that matter. The headshot is a headshot with a Vandal. But rather than going for their split approach, the attack is now going for a rather aggressive push through A. Same thing that we saw in round number 1, but they're already running into far more utility that's going to be pushing them back, and it's going to actually stall out this attack. There's 3 players on site.
Yeah, 3 players on site already. They're doing a decent job at holding this back, but I want to know how they're going to be able to just keep that kind of momentum moving.
Holding the line here. They're gonna see if there's anything up in Heaven. Only one sitting on Nest right now on site. Heaven could be a spot to completely separate this defense, but right now they're just trying to see if they can get a lucky shot through that smoke.
Yeah, it could be a lucky shot, could be what you need, but looking more so on how K-Rose is playing here, taking out Chrome, being the second blood of the round, but Frag's on the flank, and that's spiked down. Unfortunately, this guy went away from the team to try to go the long way, and it did not pay out dividends here. Let's see this. Frag looking for another headshot and taken. But attack, they have to clean this up. In defense, they are just mowing what they can down. That's the last one standing, the Jet on the flank. We'll grab one. DJ's clutching this up. 5 bullets before going down.
Very unfortunate. Really good round from them, though. Almost a little lucky to find that spike completely isolated from the rest of their team. But really, really nice stuff. The defense, the moment they find that spike down, they start pushing up. They start trying to isolate the one player. And the attack, for some reason, decide that they're going to split the last two. One going over towards market, trying to wrap around one side of their spawn, and the other one staying to try to fight frag in the back towards their spawn again. But that just makes them very isolated. It makes them a really easy pickoff, especially as now those players that were on A were able to just rotate over and quickly pincer in. It's a little unfortunate from them, but both teams right now, I mean, we expected it. This is a rematch. This is going to be a lot closer of a scenario.
Yeah,
Both
it's a
going
pretty
on.
close game. Yeah, they've learned from their last mistakes, and I hope that with those mistakes being made, they will be able to pick up the pace here. Again, though, they might be able to do something better. It's all about how they can perform under the pressure that's been building from them. But I'm looking more so at the ultimates being flown here, as they are just running it back, running it down. Chrome right behind the wall might be able to try to touch what he can. But I'm not too sure if it's going to be good enough.
Spike down.
Counter Astro Wall as well, so that is 2. The site is actually split into 3 here.
Yeah, the site's pretty split here. I don't know if that's going to benefit them or take them away.
Found one.
Spike is not down yet. The attack is in a really tricky spot. Spike is actually trapped in garage right now, and the wall is going to finally drop. They don't know any information about each other. There's all 6 on site. And there we go. That is going to be an opening kill, though. Give away some information.
Yeah, giving it away a little bit. Little step at a time goes a long way, I guess, but still surprised by their gameplay. 13 seconds on the clock. They finally get the bomb planted. 3 versus 2, and Hax is right above, trying to maybe entry it in. Defense needs to take this round back from Acacia. And Team Fish Tacos, they got to play like the team that they want to be, not the team they're ideally trying to perform with.
Yeah, they're going to be playing for this post-plant situation. They have so much utility to play off of as well.
So much util, so little time.
One enemy remaining. Imagine if I
Does end
died
up finding the
right
one.
now.
And now, yeah, they just have so much util to play around.
Ultimate is ready.
Hexa finds the kill, but it's just not going to be able to have the time. And that is going to be yet another round for the attackers. Really well played coming out from this side. Really good stuff from, honestly, very close round all around.
Yeah, close round for sure.
Here.
Might be able to finish this off quickly.
Should I play some stars?
Looking into this next round, the attackers are going to be going for a little bit more of a split composition, which, I mean, with this double duelist setup, is actually even a little bit more effective, you know, being able to send one duelist towards one area of the map and not having to sacrifice push over towards another really does find a lot of value here. I am a little bit worried for what happens when they switch over to the defense, but as for now, you could really start seeing this team shine. That is going to be the Viper's Pit that getting invested into mid. It's going to make this almost an impenetrable wall, especially with the Viper wall and the smoke up as well. Chrome finds the opening pick up on top of Heaven. That should weaken the site a little bit. And it looks like they want to try to make their way into A. They're going to take it slow, and Crescent will find one trade at least, but Spike is still down. It's not even on A yet.
Yeah, it's not exactly where you want to be seeing it. Could be able to pick this up, though. The pacing's definitely underway to have this round go in the favor of defense. Especially this ultimate completely locking down mid. You know, it's not often that you see a Viper Pit off the ult site that you normally expect, but they're bringing that heat regardless, and I love that for them. But I need to see what they can do next with that information in mind.
Haxa does find one,
30
at least,
seconds
or
left.
Haxa gets taken down, pardon me. Kratos tries to spray him down when they're on site, but won't be able to. Crescent finds one over towards Garage.
Spike
Spike
planted.
is finally going to go down. Time is now finally going against these defenders here. There's one attacker's wrapping around. They could catch him off guard.
Last player standing.
They have the potential to catch him off, but just because there's potential doesn't mean that's a guarantee. With only one person remaining, though, it's Frag from the flank, and that angle is going to be able to just send him all the way down. clean shots there from Stoby, and Acacia is still taking that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's starting to compound up, and I actually like this a lot. We've been seeing teams taking some really like timeouts, really allowing almost the snowball, the boulder rolling down the hill to gain way too much momentum. It's 2-5. Stop it now. You know, you haven't really picked up a round since the bonus and the one after. So take a second, take a quick breath, go for the, you know, maybe a re-strategizing period here, or maybe at this point just a little bit of a break. They've been doing pretty well. It's been getting pretty close, you know, maybe 1-2 left from the attackers left standing. But this is also giving time for the attack to take a breather as well. They're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. This double duelist setup seems to be working like a charm. It doesn't seem like the defense can really do all too much, but both teams here are stacking up towards the A site. They could be running into a pretty heavily defended, and seeing as they had been favoring just brute forcing their way onto a site, even if it's not the full team, they've been favoring 3-4 man pushes on. So maybe the defense here goes for a little bit of switch up. Instead of playing a little bit more default, they go for that 3 or even 4 man stack on a site and just hope they really make it difficult for the attackers. Maybe find 1 or 2 picks before they can even make it on the site.
Yeah, and that's the dream. That's the goal. It doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen that way, unfortunately, for these players. They're still trying their best to defend against a team that has been pretty evil when it comes to how their aggression is on the defense side or on the attack side. And looking at this round now, I do think that this could go any way that they want it.
Okay, that's fine. It's that opening pick, really nice stuff, and it's actually a bit of a change up from the attacking side.
Oh, look at that. Chrome tanking the nade, still being able to pick it off and stay alive at 53. Double kill down for the Rays here. Defense has an ultimate to use. They have the lockdown that might be able to push them players out, but Frag has to try to open that up, and this ult, honestly, I really wanted to see a Killjoy ult there because it would force these players out, but now they're just going to be in this pit taking their time.
Frag and KRS fine too. Make this a winnable situation, and there we go. The final kill comes through. Team Fish Taco just surgically removed them 1 by 1 from the smoke. Really good stuff. Not even having to invest in, you know, a counter ult to counteract that Viper's Pit. They just brute force it, and that's a wonderful response. I really liked what they did there. They did, you know, triple stack, make it a little bit more costly as they enter site, but the retake was just so clean there, especially seeing as there was a rather large change up coming out from the attacking side. They actually played it a lot slower, waited to get some information on where the defense was because they were expecting some sort of a change up. So it was almost a team that, you know, benefited from having a team, you know, change up strategy over time. It was really smart, really well played from both teams, but, you know, the defense is able to pull it out.
Yeah, defense able to take this back, pull it out, if you say, but defense has to keep that kind of momentum going. It's pretty hard here. Is an understatement of the century of what exactly these guys have to do, forcing themselves in. But Crescent getting that triple, that's what you need to do. That's the kind of play that locks these guys out of your game and away from the ability to just take that L, as one would call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Finding a 3 in Marketplace is absolutely huge for them. We've been seeing them push up through Garage, try to catch them all on some lurks because they've been expecting that pretty heavy lurk towards a specific site. So they play it all perfectly. Haxa is able to find that final kill, the one left standing in the 1v5. Pretty expected. Overall, really, really good adjustments, and we're seeing Team Fish Taco slowly claw their way back up towards not match point, but at least level on points.
Yeah.
We do see them start, you know, setting up. It looks like they are going to be leaning towards A yet again. I mean, they've had the most luck on A. I'm a little bit confused on why they keep sending the Astra towards Market. They've been punished, I think, 2 or 3 times in a row trying to send up that solo one. Sure, Astra is really good in that position because they can continue to have presence over towards A even while being away next to their global utility. But it's going to make it a little bit more difficult not having, you know, Astra nearby to assist.
Yeah, and that Astra is going to be doing a clean job, though. What a double kill down by a turret. That's what you want to be seeing over on the side of Killjoy. And they're just keeping that momentum locked themselves in here.
Absolutely. Really, really well played. That is a great response. And that brings us 5-5. After that timeout, they've gone 3 rounds in a row. And here we go. We're going to see the timeout come in from the attackers as well. Defense had their time, and now it is time for Acacia to have their moment of reprieve, try to figure out what's going on, because they did make some adjustments after that last timeout as well, and they just have not worked. So it may be a matter of going back to the ways that were working, but it's going to be a little bit up in the air. I have been a little bit curious about like I said, the one lurker towards market. I always enjoy taking space around the map. It is typically what ends up winning games, because once you start losing too much space, your enemies can just pinch in on you and you just have no control of the map. But when you're isolated like that, only sending one off on their own, it's just begging to be traded out 2-1. And then you're going to be down 4-5 going into any site push. And if you can't find any defenders as you're pushing on, it's going to be a 5v4 retake, and you're going to be at a disadvantage off the bat. So I think they do need to switch up. I think they need to continue taking space around the map, but I think they need to do it a little bit more precision, maybe with a little bit more support.
Yeah, and that precision has to come out quickly here. They did manage to tie this up 5-5. So that opportunity still pretty large for them. Still locking themselves in with the playstyle that you need to see from here. They have been able to pick up that pace. They're fixing their economy. They're bringing back the ultimates. And speaking of ultimates, Crescent is going to early take out Chrome. So with more aggression from Team Fish Taco, they are proving to be a team that will not be counted out here by Acacia. This is not a repeat of what happened yesterday.
Absolutely not. And we saw a little bit of a readjustment there. They've been playing a little bit passively, pushing up through Garage, but this time they played very aggressively, taking space towards mid, expecting a new push through that mid space. Though Vel does find one over towards Garage.
Yeah, they are going to be able to find that one. They need to keep that going. Vel, always good to try to get those trades for the players early on, but that early rotation can't really guarantee too much here.
Absolutely not. And there was a lot of damage being taken by the defense there, but luckily with Sky on hand, the healing does come through. Raze is still quite weak, so, maybe a little bit isolated. Crescent can't be as big of an entry as they probably would like to, as they look to be making their way over towards A site, but they're going to rely on the Seekers and this Astral Divide to come through and put in most of the work.
Yeah. They might be able to take that work, though, and make it work for them.
Are going to be pushed
Actually,
back by...
Well, they're all going into this Raze.
10 seconds
And
left.
it's just,
One
wow.
enemy remaining.
Everybody's dead.
Spike down
It's just up to
A.
the Viper. Dreas can grab one, but he can't grab any more. And that 4K takes the advantage here for Team Fish Taco, Soren.
Yeah,
Last round
massacre.
in the half.
I mean, insane. The Astral Wall was actually quite good. They get pushed off by that Killjoy ultimate, though, and it pushes them back. It has to, force them into an issue where they either have to rotate off or they have to take that site really aggressively, because that Killjoy does go over top of the Astral Divide. So now they're running out of time for that barrier. So they try to push through, but then they run into some util from the Raze. And then from up on top of ramp, they get flashed. They're just all sitting ducks. Absolutely clinical. Some really good team play coming out from this from the defense. And now, I think for the first time this game, they're in the lead.
Yeah, they are going to be in the lead here. But I like the ultimates are still flowing from these guys. I mean, it's dangerous. We got the Blade Storm coming. It's the last round of the half. I think it can be tied up as long as the attackers take it slow. But the fact that they've already lost Chrome really pushes them back. But it's a double duelist comp here. So with double duelist, you're going to need to see how they can really push this through. But I need them to really win this round, not for, the sake of the game, not for the gambling, but really just the fact that look at their team comp. How are they going to be able to defend with double duelist, double controller, no sentinel on split? They put a lot of eggs into the attack side first, and I don't know if it's going to pay off, but time will tell here, as it is going to be a mid push.
Absolutely. They're going to spot Sky and Nest. But Trios does find one. Gonna take a lot of space
Got
up
them.
towards
30
mid.
seconds left.
Site is practically theirs. Haxa is there on site, but is gonna get spotted. Stoby swings to garage to find the kill, and now 2 defenders left standing against the 4. Bladestorm still on hand for DJ. I say that. Instantly, Crescent finds the kill, finds them while they're gliding through. Stoby in an awkward position, trapped between the raised grenades, and now in a 3v2. We've seen this time and time before. Acacia have thrown these just earlier today, so there's still hope for Team Pistaka.
Yeah, there's still hope remaining. Can they seal the deal, though? What a shot from Frag. 1v1, Astra v Astra, and the knife is out. And so is the round. Defense here from the side of TFT. Now taking the lead 7-5 here. And this ain't looking too hot here, Soren.
No, that's quite unfortunate because, like I mentioned, I think that's the third, or at least the third or fourth 2v3 advantage that Acacia has thrown in just today. So quite unfortunate for them. It's a little bit of a bogey lineup for them. I think they really need to get that under control, but I think that's just a matter of time and maybe keeping their heads level in clutch situations. But now switching over to the half, ending 7-5. Again, like you said, it's going to be really tricky. This defensive side now coming out from Acacia, they got that double duelist set up. It's going to be really difficult to defend. They can play really aggressively, but if they don't find kills early, they can't capitalize on the aggression that these 2 duelists bring. The moment the team enters site, they are going to really struggle to either hold or try to retake it.
Yeah, and could be winnable here for either side as of right now, but what we're seeing from the defense and this team comp is they have to be aggressive, but the only aggression I'm seeing is actually from attackers being able to grab that early pick, pushing these players off of it and ready to just do it again.
Last player
Oh my
standing.
god. This is wow.
It's quite one-sided. Crescent finds that final kill after a convincing flawless coming out from the attacking side. And yeah, it's just starting to compound on each other. We really needed to see the defense pull the pistol round, because in that situation, when you have the double duelist, at least you can play aggressive there. You know, you're not going to be running into the full utility. You don't have to worry about ultimates pushing you back. You really wanted to see Acacia try to pull that pistol round, bring it to a 7-7, at least before the bonus, so they can get themselves back into this game a little bit, but it just kind of falls apart. It hasn't even been close. Chrome with Shorty!
Wow. You said it hasn't come close, but that is inches away from death and destruction here from the side that you want to be watching, so I don't know. Could happen again. Not too sure, though.
Vil does find one, brings it to a 3v3. The last 2 rotating. They're making their way through market. Gonna have a tough task, but seeing as they're not coming through heaven and not coming through their own spawn, that could be running into Hax's utility.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be running it down. Crescent run around. Ready to hold that down. I mean, defense has to retake with whatever they can, and right now it's just a frenzy.
Blinded.
You might be able to grab that gun, but gonna be pretty hard here.
Yeah, mad dash through is never ideal. Frag finds the final, brings the count to 9-5, and it's looking scarier and scarier because those were, I mean, that last round was better. It was better than the flawless that we had witnessed the first time around. But now we have rifles in the hands of this defense. We need to see this to be a convincing round. We need this to, you know, not be one of those scrappy that we just saw where there's only 2 left standing. We need this to be a convincing flawless. We need them to pad out their economy so they can have a few rounds in a row. We need to see them win this convincingly to give some hope, because on this defensive side, we're already expected to struggle. But once we start getting, you know, rifle to rifle, you're going to have to start running into that double controller setup. Or, excuse me, going up against the double smokes, it's going to be really difficult to hold these sites.
Yeah, pretty difficult here. Lots of util throw these guys off, though. Vel, he needs to come up large, being that defender that locks this plays in and displays that he is a player that cannot be trifled with. But I'm looking at so far how Vel has been holding it down. It's been pretty clean. No real missteps. But the misstep I'm seeing right now is the full rotation through the exact same point, while it's just going to be held down beautifully by Haxa and Ali.
Here. One enemy remaining.
Haxa coming alive, finds 3 in the round, and that's it's not what we wanted. It's not what we expected at all. That is the bonus round going their way despite the rifle disadvantage, and it's clean as well. I believe that was a flawless in the end, and now Chrome has a Bucky. I'm expecting to see maybe something a little bit similar to what we saw in mid just a few rounds ago. Some aggressive push through, maybe trying to catch someone off guard with that Bucky. They might even catch this Viper over in A lobby off guard. Never mind, no they won't. Kairos, the Phantom does enough.
Dang. Phantom definitely doing enough there. Let me see if they can do that again. See what happens.
They'll try.
Gun down. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Saying trying to peek through the smoke, but it does get spotted out thanks to the barrel.
I like this. Drios right above. Can he spot him out? He can. He will get gunned down. And again, why is the defense always working together in the same angles all the time? You can't really play off of each other. You're just going in one at a time, and now it's your turn to die. But Stoby doesn't take his turn quite yet. He is going to get a pick first before dropping down. But again, I don't know how to feel about the way that these guys have been performing.
Yeah, it's not amazing, and I'm actually quite surprised because this ended up being at least an okay first half. I was expecting at least a little bit more of a fight, but Acacia was in winners finals. They actually beat Team Fish Taco in the first round through, and sure, there was 2 maps where in one of them they did kind of dominate Acacia, but this is quite a one-sided affair yet again. I was hoping to see maybe some anti-stratting, maybe see some sort of different play, but Acacia, they just don't seem like the same team that took them to the winners finals today. They don't seem like anywhere near the same team as they were yesterday.
Yeah, it's not the same kind of effort that you can expect from this team, and yet it is being brought down time and time again from how they've been just being able to perform together.
Yeah. Space is being taken up towards heaven, though.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, nice shots. Nearly sealing the deal here.
Goes back for the repeat. Finds one. Only 1 health left remaining. Haxa catches him.
Teammate.
And that's match point.
That's okay. I'm pressing tab. I'm kind of at a loss for words because Acacia, they just didn't perform today. This is not the same team. They had subs last time, and now the main roster performing significantly worse is stressing me out here a little bit. I want to know if it's something that can be avoided by what they're doing. I'm not sure if there is. It's just a game. I mean, I'm pressing tab, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds in a row.
Yeah, it's one-sided to say the least. I mean, 10 rounds in a row. I'm surprised we're not seeing at least a timeout get called. And the fact that we're not, I feel like, is a testament to the fact that this definitely feels like Acacia are living the motto of this is a GG, go next angle. Seeing that there's no timeout, we're not seeing that much adjustment. It just feels like this map is already become a, okay, we'll see what we can do next time situation.
Yeah. And honestly, a situation is a good word for it because these guys are in a bad situation. Haxa, always good for getting kills with the turret somehow, but Ali needs to anchor this down, just gunning everybody back. And it's Vel, last one standing and last to fall. That is game one of this best of three going over to Team Fish Tacos. Acacia from second seed to apparently spit out on split. I got to hand it to him. I did not expect that game to go in that direction whatsoever.
No, I mean, we were really expecting that to be a bit of a brawl. These two teams, I mean, it was one-sided on two maps. I keep saying it, but that third map was incredibly close. Fracture really came down to the wire, and sure, it was a tale of two halves. It still came down. We were, I think, one round away. I think it was 13-11. We were one round away from an overtime. The only overtime we would have seen on stream, this series so far, or in this weekend.
Yeah.
So I was really expecting this to be kind of a clash of titans. This is the second seed versus the third seed. And I think it's just a little bit disappointing. I think I can't say enough. This does not seem like the same team. Sure, they had a few subs yesterday. Maybe, seeing as they didn't get to play yesterday, there's maybe a little bit of a disconnect. They didn't get to play yesterday, so maybe they're not as warmed up as some of their teammates that did. But it just seems a little bit toothless. I like the switch up of the double duelist. I think maybe it was a play to try to catch him off guard, maybe play a little bit more aggressive than, Team Fish Taco would have expected to, but it just didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
It didn't come to fruition. And I think it's a little disappointing, but we still have map 2 at least.
Yeah, and map 2 is going to be ascend here, so I need to see if Acacia can ascend back into that seed 2 that we've been talking about here. But we got to wait for these guys to get ready to rock and roll as we are going to be jumping into a quick break. We'll see you guys in agent selection. Actually, looks like it's going to get started real soon. Both teams are going to be ready here. The only thing we need to do is make sure that we have everybody ready to go. New observers going to be joining us for the Reds games for today. Freezes, welcome aboard. And we are have some pretty fun times together. Both teams seem to be ready. We just have to get Alley onto that side. If you get there, but because it's back and forth, whether or not to start soon, we'll see you guys in a bit at Agent Select.
Minari takes him down. Only one bullet, decides to reload right in front of Green. Tries getting in halfway, and he actually sticks it all the way to half. And he makes those Young Min with the win. What a clutch. Not one, but they're out. But here comes the nightmare. It's making them very afraid. Spike is now down. Lucky holding that W key. Getting a double kill with the spray down. This man's ready to go, and it's all up to Zell. He sprays it down, but that nade, it's doing some work. He doesn't know where this Reyna could be, but Reyna's giving away her position, and Lucky getting a 4K with one spray and then a clean clutch. And right now, truly, with this tour de force, is going to spot one and only able to get it, but that's going to be a double, and that's a triple. God. That's what we like to see.
Single-handedly! No! Bring them back into this game!
Are now going for it. The ultimate's now pushing in, and all the dumpage. Lemon able to get a just mow down of a spray, getting all these picks today. Yeah, I mean, and this is.
And here we are. Welcome back. It is now time for Ascent. Could be the last game of the day, or we could be going into a best of 3. Only time will tell as we are inching our way closer and closer towards victory for either side here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going on to Ascent, and it looks like we are going to be seeing exactly mirrored compositions. Ascent, we've talked about it time and time again. We talked about it yesterday. It's almost a solved map at times. The agent pool can be very wide. You can pick up a Phoenix. I've seen people pick up Vipers, sometimes Astra on this map. But this composition seems to be the bread and butter of pretty much every competition, including team play. It's going to be the J, the Omen, now the KJ after the Chamber chamber nerfs from last year. I mean, nothing too surprising. It's going to come down to individual head-to-heads. I am a little bit worried though. Crescent seemed like they were on top of the moon, and DJ, just in general today, hasn't been seeing like they have been firing on all cylinders like they were yesterday. Though this is a great opping map, and we saw DJ put up some huge numbers on this map and on Haven with the operator on the defensive side. So I'm excited to see. We could very well be the map that turns back into their favor, takes us to a map 3, finishing out the series here. But if we don't see some adjustments, if we don't see a resurgence coming out from this Acacia side, despite starting in winners finals, it could be a simple 2-0 for the day and they're out for the weekend.
Yeah, at least it's Sunday, all right? They got to go do something before the mall closes or have some fun. And obviously, following our wonderful observer freezes, we have to really just knock out the potential for an L being tossed to Acacia. Because honestly, they don't deserve to go out 2-0 sweep after that amazing day they had yesterday. But if this is their main team roster and it's performing this much worse, I gotta hand it. I don't want to see them fall this hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think it's been an all-around a little bit catastrophe, but there is some trading going out over on B site as 1-for-1 get traded through, except Frag, the last one standing, putting up some big numbers yesterday, has to do the most, but only 10 seconds left on the clock, is going to try to get spiked down.
Yeah, going for that spike, trying their best in a bad situation. DJ cleaning it up at the end of the day here, and I gotta hand it. Having that round go that quick, it's maybe looking up for Acacia. They might be able to secure the deal here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're already seeing DJ and Trios get 2 kills each. We're seeing Chrome pick up a kill as well. I mean, DJ needs to get online quickly. They, at times, were the only real bite in this Acacia team yesterday. Even when they won, it was almost a one-man affair at the top of the leaderboard, dragging them across the line in some closer rounds. So we really need to see DJ come online, and getting 2 kills off the rip is always a good indicator of that. And it looks like we are going to be seeing a similar setup coming out from the attackers yet again. But this could be actually an easier time as the defense is expecting an A push. So they're putting some presence over towards mid and towards A. Meanwhile, KJ, the only one really on site to really try to stall out this B push.
Yeah, and they're trying to stall it out. Might be efficient, might be effective. But look at DJ. Stupidly aggressive here with the Marshall, and unfortunately is only going to be good for 1. When it is your buy round, having that 1-for-1 might not actually be worth it. But you have a KO flash himself, and Drio's taking out Crescent like that. That's what we need to be seeing. Defense still anchoring this down, making sure nothing is going to be able to touch B quite yet. But with the Omen and the KO working together to get that boathouse closed, might be able to just clean it up. Low HP. And a dream. Lots of damage taken. And a lot dished out. Stubby's here with the Sheriff. And that is going to be a bot nearly getting a kill. And it's the run and gun that ends this easily.
Really well played from Drios there specifically. Really, really nice setup. They put their trip on... they put their trip on Twitch, which means that the Jet was able to push up on the site being fully unsuspecting. Sure, they probably heard the KJ utility, but they weren't quite able to figure out where it was, probably expecting it back towards lane, but allows them to push up, not aware that Drios, knowing that there's no actual coverage in the middle of that site, plays perfectly smart, waits for them to walk into the crosshair, and the moment that Jet falls, they lose a lot of the pressure that they get trying to enter a site. So once that comes through, they just have to brute force, and it's just a matter of waiting for them to walk into the crosshairs. Really well played from this defense. And now it's actually forcing this attack to play a little bit more default, one sitting top mid, multiple trying to play towards, tiles, but no one's really taking any pressure. Spike is still not picked up, so it still could easily be rotated. But this defense, instead of playing more aggressive with this rifle disadvantage, are playing a default of their own, waiting to see if they can catch them in an off angle.
Yeah, and they might be able to catch those players not exactly where they need to be, but it could work out for them. I still see that what we have going on is a buy round, and with that buy round, the op is the only thing that defense has to hold them back, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of this current buy from the defenders.
It's a little bit sketchy, but they've been finding a lot of value off that op. But on site, doesn't matter. The Spectres and the Stingers are coming alive as they find a kill
30
each.
seconds left.
DJ just now making it on the site. Not going to be amazing with that operator on
planted.
retake. They do still have some utility on hand.
Yeah, they get that util. And what? Wow. What a
He
shot.
caught out Mr. Witch.
One suppressed.
They're definitely cleaning this up a bit, but Acta and Frag, that's a round that they needed. Down to 2 players, lots of money has been spent, but let's see this happen. I want the ults now on the board. DJ and Drios right around the corner. I think they might be able to just pop off here.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with you last round where the operator is a little bit of a risky buy because now they're not going to be able to full buy out for this round. DJ only going to have a sheriff to a name, but they're in a position where if they can play around an ult or maybe pick the one up in B, they can get the Blade Storm online, seeing as they're only 1 away. Also, Drios is also only 1 point away from their lockdown, so there's a lot of ultimates to play for here, but instead, Team Fish Taco are just going to run at them in Crescent. Just running through, finds Switch, does not close the door on their way through, but finds 2 instead.
Wow. I mean, Crescent definitely knows how to pick those up, but Attack, they won their last game, looking to see if they can do it again. And that is triple kill down for Crescent. It's just back and forth bloodshed here as Stoby's doing what they can to maybe pick up the pace, but I think that this is now momentum shifting, and with momentum shifting, anybody could take this game away from who is in front.
Yeah, not to mention it's also going to be a big swing in the economy, even if they're able to do some damage. You know, only having 2 rifles left standing, and I say that seeing as they are being a little bit pressured here, getting hunted down by the attack. Do take 1, make it 2 rifles, almost a 3rd, but time's finally gonna tick. But yeah, only being able to save 2 there, it's gonna be a little bit tragic. They're gonna have 3 be left without, and the economy for this attacking side is in a really good spot. Most are still holding about 2,000 credits in their back pocket, so even in next round they're gonna be able to buy, even if somehow they decide of, Acacia can pull a Thrifty out. But it's a little sketchy. The economy is not great, but they do have a few ultimates on hand. They did end up getting the ultimate for DJ, so the Blade Storm is available, and it's 7 out of 8 for both Drios and Stoby, both in a position where they could easily get some ultimates on board and easily flip around.
Yeah, I think that they can flip this round pretty quickly. They just have to manage to get that, again, ultimate on the board, as you pointed out. To really lock them in on this. Still, I'm not sure. I really do not know if the game is going to go as we kind of expected based on that first round. It's anybody's game, but with Haxa picking off Chrome early, it slowly shifts any favor. And I got no idea what's going to happen next. Well,
2 rifles still on the board.
Down A.
Make it 1.
They do have the Blade Storm, though. And because they were able to, you know, pick off 1, they can still take this.
Absolutely, still a possibility. 2 going up through heaven. It's going to be a Blade Storm duel in the sky. Both trading updrafts, both losing all their knives. Frag finds 1. Stoby staying alive, though.
Stoby is going to be taken out. And unfortunately, staying alive, only lasting for so long, however.
Looking at the economy here, the ult economy specifically, because now it's going to be I was going to say it's going to be a full buy, but it's really not. This defense did force out a little bit, so it's going to be sheriffs and a guardian. No, it's going to end up being practically a full save for the defense, besides a singular marshal. So scrappy buy. It's not what they want to see. It's going to look closer and closer like it's going to end up being a 4-2 by the end of the round, especially seeing as there are 3 ultimates on the side of the attackers. They could force their way through pretty much any site, especially with that null command. And even if a site push doesn't go their way, the rotation option's still there with the Into the Shadows in the hands of their Omen.
Yeah, the Into the Shadows might just be perfect for him, but what a shot from Crescent, opening it up, rushing out of market, being able to grab one. And Frag's doing the same. These guys have taken full mid control, and it's all up to the people on defense. And this is the same thing we saw last game. They like playing all together. But when you're all together with a weapon disadvantage, you're having to, you know, kind of be cautious because you might just all get sprayed down. It's a risk that you don't want to take because then the entire retake will get shut down in one fell swoop.
All 3 of the defenders making their way through B main. It's going to be really risky. They also know and expect it. They know they're not going to be having to worry about anything on flank. I'm worried this could be a massacre here.
Oh, maybe not though. Defense. This retake's going pretty well. Vel on the triple. Now it's just up to Kairos, and he does have the ultimate, but unfortunately he doesn't have the aim for it, and Vel's going to secure a 4K. So if it's not Vel carrying this team, I'm not sure how that Acacia can actually carry themselves into winning this back. But a Thrifty, that's a start.
Yeah, that's absolutely a start. That's actually quite big for them. That really rebounds their economy. And it puts them into a pretty good spot. They're able to bring it back 3-3. And actually, there's quite a lot of money in their back pocket, seeing as that was a heavy Thrifty. I think it was only Sheriffs in their back pocket when some of them could practically full buy out. So there's, about 2,000 credits each per person in their back pockets going into the next round. Though, over on the attack, it's a pretty similar spot. The only real difference is the ult economy. Chrome being the only one, really close on the defensive side, 7 out of 8. Meanwhile, on the attacking side, there's 4 ultimates. Both teams are really close to having all but one on hand for this round. I would not be surprised if either this round or the next kind of devolves into just a mosh pit of ultimates.
Yeah, I like that. A mosh pit of ultis. But I don't know if that mosh pit is going to be properly popping, as one would call it.
Oh. Spike was dropped over in Garden, but it does get picked up finally. DJ finds one with the operator and legs their, respective jet on the other team. As Spike did go down as well. Taco Crescent is really weak here.
Yeah, quite weak.
Take flight.
There it is. Taco's gonna get gunned down, or not gunned down, getting a gun down. Looking for another pick, potentially can finish this off. And yeah, well, I am. Wow.
Yeah, it's a back and forth. This is almost what we expected to see on Split. I'm actually quite happy to see this because, especially after that last Fracture game, once we saw Pearl and Haven get banned away, I was really expecting these last couple maps, seeing as they were not their first ideal picks. I was expecting this to be a lot closer. So seeing the map 1 go that one-sided, it was almost a little bit disappointing, but here we are seeing these rounds get traded back and forth. Neither team is taking the advantage for any real long period of time. I'm really excited to see this play out already.
And there it is. The plays are flowing. Kairos is going to grab one, but Chrome grabbing the double down defense. They desperately need this. They have 4 ultimates on the board. 1 getting popped. Null command. Trios, he's only got a frenzy, and he's going to have to rebuy next round as this team on the attack finally got themselves a site for free. But is it going to be free enough? That's always the main question here.
Are going to invest the Hunter's Fury to either get rid of the lockdown or just try to prevent the spike plant, but gotta get neither, so everyone's pushed back and the spike goes down. Quite unfortunate. Ali gonna take a jiggle peek, but is going to take some damage.
Yeah, is going to take that damage away from him. Pretty clean. Ali taking damage and grabbing Chrome, making this not leveled. 2 versus 3 as the bomb is slowly getting planted here, and the intro is underway. They have to retake it, and they can't do much. It's just Vel, and you're not good for 4 this time. That's going to be Attackers now taking another round, and Team Fish Taco, this is a different team than what we saw yesterday for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, despite having that one really good map, they were a little bit dull on Fracture up until the half switch. They really came alive afterwards. So I'm really glad that we're seeing them, you know, come alive here early on. They've retaken control back of this map after having a really strong map 1. This is exactly what we need to see. Sure, they were the third seeded team. Sure, Acacia is technically above them, but they're no team to scoff at. They have been consistently one of the top teams both in this divisions, excuse me, as well as just in IGL history. They've constantly been putting up good numbers.
Yeah, and pulling up good numbers is kind of the dream job here, especially at the semifinals of the lowers. But DJ, this op, I think, has to be the crutch that they use to really take this back. And if they are able to pick it up, they might be able to send this back. DJ is negative right now, but with this gun in hand, he knows how to pop off early. And Chroman just holding this down. But I'm looking at how these attackers are spread thin here. After losing the Sova, they aren't capable of getting too much info outside of waiting for that KO dart to come back, or KO knife to come back here. And it is going to spot out nothing in CT or market. So, I don't know. And they know one's A, but that's an ult.
Yeah, it's going to be quite costly. That's also going to give some information, but Vel shuts it down, and Crescent's in a good spot to possibly cut off these rotations, but they're also very separated away from their teammates.
Yeah, they're going to be separated out, but they're popping it off here. Haxa around the corner. Needs to clean this up, but Crescent, what are you...
Spike planted.
Am I crazy? Why did Crescent try to go for the all or nothing right click? I mean, that was a risk that was not rewarded.
No, it really wasn't, but they are still technically at the advantage despite going up against the operator. Operator in this retake is not great, so they are going to pop the Blade Storm that will be given the notification, but it doesn't matter because Ali barely sees their heads, but it doesn't matter. All they need is 3 pixels, and they find 2 in heaven. Massive for them.
Yeah, pretty large coming up there. Didn't quite expect that to be so as violent as it really turned out to be. But now that they have the 6, they have the half. They guarantee that no matter what, this has to either be tie or GG. It's the fact it's the halfway equivalent of getting to 12. And if you're at that half point advantage, you might be able to really just clutch this up here for your team and get yourself into that grand finals. They've never fought Handsome Jits yet in the main playoffs here. So the fact that they're going to be on their road to fighting that team, I think they might be able to do it. And maybe the reason that Acacia did not perform so well against them was just because this team itself is not on the same page that they were yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not be surprised, but it does look like the attack is coming through. Team Fish Taco are going for a push onto B, but Drios just pushes through the smoke. Who cares if they only have a sheriff? Finds one. And Stoby on site finds one while completely flashed out.
Yeah, gonna be flashed out here, but shock darts always help with doing damage. What a shot. Gonna owl drone for the last piece of information and knows he's getting rushed from that side. Plays it smart. 7 bullets, 1 dream, 1 shot, 1 pick, and the thrifty round is yet again won. It seems as though the only rounds that we really see get locked in here from the side of Acacia are when they have very little to work with. They know how to work under pressure, but when they have to relax, they just slack off.
Which is really weird, because this is the first time we've seen this. They really struggled last game in thrifty situations. They did not have, you know, the affordability and the tools in their toolbox, so to speak, to overcome anything other than a rifle advantage when, you know, they were going up against pistols. But this game, it seems completely different. I think that's the second or third thrifty we've seen from them. I mean, it's nice, but now it's the complete opposite. They're not able to win out these rifle rounds. And at the end of the day, those are the meat and potatoes of Valorant. Those are the majority as long as you're managing your economy correctly. And if you can't win those, you're going to be putting yourself into a rough spot.
Wow. Rough spot indeed, but they might be able to pick that pace back up here with DJ's op coming up large here, grabbing that pick in alley. will be able to close the door. At the time the smoke clears, he's going to have to replace that down. Their team already down 2 and spread thin. But can Ali, with only 6 bullets, really clutch it up? Not sure why he hasn't gone for the reload quite yet here. And they are going to be forced into either boathouse or lane. Unless Ali's able to pop off from behind. Attacks a 1, 2. Can he get the third? Let's find out. He's going to place that turret down for info. Frag gives up the site. And now they're having to retake their own bomb defuse.
Yeah,
Flashbang over the top. What?
Swarm grenade out. One enemy remaining.
1, and that's 2. Haxa with the lineup.
Calculated.
That's insane. Haxa with the insane lineup, with the insane flank through. I was going to comment how it was looking a little bit sketchy. There's only 2 left on site. There's 4 left towards spawn. All could collapse in on these final 2 attackers. Haxa sitting over in tree, and it looked like a really risky spot, but they get that flank through. They find those opening 2, or I think, yeah, 2 picks along that back spawn area, and then with the lineups, it's clean, it's concise. Haxa coming up massive, showing why they are still consistently, even when they are not top fragging, a massive performer for this team.
You should run.
Yeah, massive performer here. Crescent now trying to make sure that something works for them. Got DJ right around the corner. Ultimate's now coming out. Hunter's Fury will be used a lot, and the information will be gathered enough to take out Drios. Taco needs this round here. It is the last of what they got. I don't know. Can they really seal the deal? Can they make sure that this bomb goes boom and the 4-8 secures the round? Soren, I'm looking at what they got for buys, and I don't know.
It's looking a little bit sketchy. Kairos finds 2, and they all just fall down. They all fall apart as what looked to be a retake that was being stalled out just gets the rug pulled out from under them. And that is the half. It finishes 8-4, and despite going down, or going down a little bit earlier on, it's quite clean ending it off on the side of Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, Team Fish Taco, clean as ever, being able to really just pick up the pace here, not only in this game, but hopefully in the next, if they do manage to make it to the finals. Of course, this team is a mirrored matchup, so I can't really say that the defense sided, T sided. It's an even map, no matter what. So I can't put my faith in the side of Acacia quite yet. They have to prove that they can take this back by, first off, winning pistol.
Yeah, and they're actually changing up the pace of the game a little bit, going for this more default setup, but again, preferring this mid push, which I enjoy. I really like seeing them take this much space, but with only 2 of them there, if one of them falls or if someone gets picked off, it could make the rest of the team very weak and give up a lot of mid space, but it doesn't matter because DJ finds it and actually opens up that entirety of that mid area, especially going towards market, and makes every lane a threat for this defense.
See what's going on right now. Threat of defense. They managed to take out one of those defenders, and one of those is Crescent, a big guy to not have on your side. But Haxa and Ali, this is where you kind of have issues not being able to drag these guys down, because Ali right away proving why, grabbing 1 before getting taken down. But it's the push up here, and unfortunately Frag is gonna frag 1 for the side of Chrome, and that bomb will be able to go down. But 2v3, we've seen Haxa do even more.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, absolutely. Though Haxa, not any real good, actually no utility left in the tank. None really of these defenders have anything.
Let's see what's going on.
They will be able to get spiked down, and that is a round now going into the favor of Acacia. They win that pistol round, which is a great start, but I mean, we saw the exact same thing play out in the first half. They won their pistol, they won the anti-eco, and then they were not able to convert many rounds post. So despite a really good start, I need to see them start compounding. It's really gonna start sitting in how the rest of this half is gonna go once we switch over and get past the bonus.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that maybe the bonus might not be just around the corner as you kind of expect it. These guys are just running around the corner here. Haxa, this is a team player that knows how to win a thrifty, and that's why I said that it's no guarantee that that round 3 will be with these exact guns. I think a lot of people might go down this round. That's my prediction, but let's see if it is going to come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. Haxa really like going on the flank, but will get spotted out there by Vel. But that does pretty much put a complete halt to Haxa. That really takes the bite out of their play style, not allowing them to get more forward.
Oh, what a shot. That Drios is happy about that spray and pray. And he's going to do it again onto Haxa. This should be a free B site unless Crescent can stop him, but Crescent can't. That's another spray down, and it's just going to be the Omen really locking this in, making their way around it.
Yeah, and this is expected. They had the rifle advantage, including bringing a hero vandal
30
into it
seconds
from
left.
DJ, who's been putting up some pretty good numbers. 9, 10, and 1 is nothing to scoff at this level, but it's nowhere near the level that they probably want to be at. They try to put through door, but they get hurt out. Alley has nowhere to go.
Wow. Nowhere to go. No time at all. And attackers are going to be able to take that round pretty well. I'm hoping that now that they have the slight boost from Drios playing like that, they're going to be able to maybe win bonus. But they have to rely on the hero rifle in the hands of DJ heavily here because they're facing off against full buys.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the benefit of bringing those rifles. It's incredibly costly, but bringing that in, especially if you can have a round like that where it is a 4v or a 4 to 5 members of your team left standing, it's a massive boost to the economy in the end because you get to bring all those rifles in. Now, instead of going up against, you know, Phantoms and Vandals with just Spectres and Stingers, you got 2 Bulldogs and a Vandal, which could easily turn the tide in a fight. So massive boon for them. And Crescent actually looks like they might be taking this fight, or at least can hear a lot of presence towards mid.
Yeah, lots of presence towards mid, and what a double down for Crescent. Make it a triple. Can he get the ace? 7 bullets in the clip, rushing it down. Knows that Drios is around the corner, but unfortunately, the overheat is going to fizzle out as Drios gets not only the player down, but also a Vandal in his hands. But here's Haxa. Looking for something, looking to make this work for themselves. Defense, cleaning it up. And the attackers just have to manage to take their time. 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they do end up picking up a Vandal off that, but all 3 of the players they lost were the ones that brought Vandals into this round, so quite lucky to have anything in hand, but they're going to walk right into the crossfire here.
There we go, and oh,
30 seconds
Drios able to just get those 1-taps down and ready to do it again, though. Down. Stoby picking up the pace, and oof, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, because it's a little unfortunate. We expected it, but you would have definitely hoped, and they're definitely wishing to have a lot bigger impact, especially with those 3 rifles they brought in that all just immediately got wiped off the board. The moment they pushed through market, and they were just punished by Crescent. They were able to find 2, but it's not the best situation. They are going to be able to full buy out. Only one of their teammates is going to be rocking the light shields, but that is going to be round number 9, 1 away from taking double digits here and inching closer and closer towards a series end here.
Alley is going to grab Chrome into a lot of damage to Vel. That's more damage than was taken. That's even. That's what you want to be seeing here. You got to be good for at least 1.5 at this tier of Valorant. You have to be able to really just pick up your paces and lock down these sites, and they're kind of securing that. And I'm wondering if they can keep that going.
Yeah, it's going to force the attack side. They are going to be a little bit more slow. Bavel, only 10 health remaining, is going to see if they can find a little bit more information. Maybe catch him off guard. Won't do so. Now in a 3v2, DJ barely doesn't get spotted out. The Crescent can find them. They're not aware of the jet there.
Might not be aware of the jet, but now they definitely are. I have to make that work for themselves here.
One down. One
Oh,
enemy
press.
remaining.
That's Crescent and Kairos gunning it down. Now just leaving 1 player remaining. And that's going to be all that is written in the books here. for defense yet again to be taking that round and getting double digits on the board, 3 away from GG here, Soren.
Yeah. Again, leaving 3 rifles on the board is not amazing. They have plenty of money to buy out, though there's a little bit of damage. They won't be as happy as they would probably like to be on the defensive side, but they'll take the round. They break double digits, and it's going to force this attacking side of Acacia into yet another eco round. And it's a shame. Yet again, I was saying how it's going to be those full buy rounds, the meat and potatoes, that is going to define this. Because again, they win the pistols, and they aren't able to convert the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, they're not quite able to convert them, but something might happen here. DJ looking around, pushing in. There's a knife. There's another. And here it is. DJ needing to pick up the pace. 8 bullets in the clip. It's not going to be enough, but it's the other knives flying their way through. 1 HP on this KJ. And it doesn't matter. Drios cannot clutch that up, and they lose another buy round.
Just let them
Yep.
try to catch
And now we're going to see, Vanos at least come back out from the attack. So a little bit better. And despite, all of their team members really going down, only 2 being left standing, there's still some nice credits. Haxa especially sitting on 6,000 credits after a full buy is very, very deadly. We're getting to a position where the perfection has to be shown by Acacia. The economic disadvantage is growing, it's mounting, and even if they could get a win, they can't just find a singular round. They need to start putting 2, need to get 3 in a row to even take a hit or take some pennies away from Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, that's definitely an understatement here. They're pushing their way in and I think ready to do it again.
Yeah, they are taking a lot of space over towards mid. It's what they've been favoring to do, though to limited effect most of the time. Frag is sitting here waiting, but he's going to be pushed off with this flash.
Pushed off. Frag right around the corner. Let's see this. Knife in hand. And there's DJ picking up Alley, and still Frag incredibly patient here. That patience is going to force him off, and that will give the information. They know that he's tree. But the attack forced out by K Rose here. This is why this player has been not only in the competition here for so long, but ready to rock it and roll it. Drios with the trade. 30 HP remaining. Has to pop the ultimate down, guaranteeing that his team gets the bomb plant down because it cannot risk the match point advantage going over to Team Fish Taco. Acacia needs this desperately, but Crescent, he's still going for it. He's grabbing all the kills. And it's just Vel trying to now prevent them from being able to defuse the bomb, and that fragment will force him out. But this is an Omen we're talking about. He'll TP right onto site and try to stick this down, and it's over for that round. Soren, match point advantage is given over.
And not just that, it's gonna have to be a force. I was gonna say it was gonna be a save, but it has to be a force. There's not a lot left in the tank, in the wallets here from Acacia. We're seeing the Judge get picked up. We're seeing the Spectre and the full shields. Maybe a few rifles around, but they're going to be going up against Haxa now on the Operator. Whoa, it's going to be a tall order. It's match. It's series points, and it looks ever more likely that Team Fish Taco are edging their way. They're trying to get that final hurdle to lock in their spot. Oh, that.
Hey, flank is watched now. Don't worry about it. Oh my god, Haxa really risked it all and still managed to take out Drios. Unfortunately, that wonderful lineup will no longer be able to be popped. There it is. Crescent with the spray and pray. And the pray, unfortunately, is not going to get answered. That prayer falling on deaf ears here as Stoby
planted.
Has to hold his own, but it's a little bit of a Sova diff. And now let's see if it's going to be a diff between Vel and Frag.
1v1, there's still so much utility left in the tank for this KO.
So much utility left in the tank, but unfortunately that tank is going to get splattered and spilled across the road here. Not ideal for what they have set up, but they have to win 5 more rounds in a row, and if defense knows how to play it slow, build up their ultimates, and just do one final finisher round, I think they could still take this game pretty handedly.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a really good spot to do so as well. Like I said, the economy is still pretty padded out for them. Actually, no, it does not. It actually looks like they're going to be going for a partial save round, a few hero vandals just to try to swing it back into their favor. They do also have the no command, so they can put a stop to some pretty heavy aggression, but DJ spots Ali there in the corner.
Oh, the fact that Frag, he was so close to getting that pick and instead got taken down, opening up the play here for Haxa to swing it from the side. The Sheriff in the hands of players like Frag are huge. But now let's see Stilby. Rhea Rock and Rolski has to now anchor it back. Haxa having that ultimate will be able to force them off, but it's the flanker Crescent who's about to get all the information he ever could want and ever could need. Spots out multiple. They know that they're not going to be able to use their ult yet in defense. Still about to close it out. Crescent having to be very aggressive here. Unfortunately, will not get the trade. That hero rifle on the ground. It's just Haxa to clutch this up for their team, unless K-Rose's Sheriff can really start popping off again. A little bit of damage. 1 HP on that KO, actually. Jesus.
Kairos does still have darts up and the Silver Jones. They still have the information needed. Like you said, Chrome, very weak in the situation. And we've seen Acacia lose these situations before, so it's not the end of the world. 2v3 has not been their specialty so far this series.
Definitely not their specialty, but the tea is flowing if they're able to do it again. Oh, spots the legs, but does he know that the person's hell? I think he just spotted one. There's the one way. It's not going to be able to connect it. Hax is grabbing one. Spotted out. Does have that ultimate. Shouldn't use it, though, because it is an eco around here. And that bomb's ticking away. It's just going to be a 1v1, and that's done here.
Yeah, no, a very good round. That's a really good response for them. They're getting rounds back on the board. That's 2 in a row again. That's exactly what we wanted to see. But it is now going to be a full buy. That was still quite costly. Only 3 left standing when, there was only a couple hero rifles on the board, and most of them had got taken out pretty early on. So quite costly for them, but they are going to be full buy across the board, except for DJ, who's saving a little bit of extra money for next round, hopefully, and instead favoring just getting a Sheriff and popping the Blade Storm. There we go. They do also have the Hunter's Fury, so they could play for a post-plant situation, but there is also the no command that could shut that down.
Yeah, it could shut them down, shut them out, but here's DJ with the blades. As you pointed out here, Soren, and DJ knows how to be that opening frag for the side of Acacia.
Seems like a very slow system here. Only 2 really poking and prodding anywhere in towards the defending side. It might be caught out guard here. Nowhere really to run.
Nowhere to run, but nowhere to hide. Knives out. DJ's going to get first blood. Taking out the player with that ultimate on a buy round. Pretty big early on here.
And they're actually going to play this really smart. They're not going to overheat at all. They've already been punished multiple times for overheating, so they're going to get that kill. They're going to get that pick and fall away and go back into the shadows, but it does look like they're going to end up going A regardless, as the rest of their team, including the Spike, slowly makes its rotation over.
Yeah, it's making a move pretty fast, but what a flash. On the corner, that's going to be a blind boy getting gunned down, and from through the spray, takes out the Sova. It's incredibly low. This could be G to the G, 4 against 3, as they have to get it in, but that ultimate could stop him, but he pops his ult, not only to make it so he can't get taken down, but also shut down the Hunter's Fury, and it leads into a spray. The end of the game, the pinnacle, the peak, ending the round and knocking Acacia down.
I mean, insanely good. It was exactly like you said. They saved up their ultimates. They saved up their money for one big round, put them into a really awkward position. Even though they had the man advantage there at the end, they still were able to get a few kills with the smoke, were able to get a bit of damage as well, and were able to keep them off of sight. At the very end there was 15 seconds left on the clock, and Spike was still in A main. They needed to push through. They tried to Sova ult to get through, but they Sova ulted the KO. Just like I said, the no command comes out, stops the ult, and also makes it so even if they do get the kill, KO's still up. He's just down for the second. It was really well played, really well executed from Team Fish Taco, and it's massive because that was a team that put Acacia aside for one map yesterday, but really struggled a bit on Fracture and got blown out by them on Haven. This is
Yeah.
a wonderful response. It's a really good showing. I believe they 2-0'd the team they played while we were watching the game
Yeah,
just before, the series just before. So
yeah, they definitely 2-0'd Lionheart there. So they're on a streak. And the only team that I see in their way, and not only in their way because it's the last team standing, it's Handsome Jits, the undefeated champion so far, the #1 seat here, as they are going to be inching their way into that grand final, which will be scheduled soon. So keep an eye out on the bracket or on the Liquipedia page. You'll be updated as soon as the information is going to be there. Also, check out IGL on Twitter if you would like some more information like that. But I think that's all that she wrote for us today, Soren. So any hiccups, any final thoughts here?
no, I mean, it was a really good tournament. It was really good. Every team came to show. I mean, even in the defeats, I think there was still a lot of grit and determination. I'm really excited to watch the grand finals next week. I think it's going to be an absolute brawl. I think Handsome Jits actually might have a little bit of a run for their money, especially if Team Fish Taco comes out swinging like they did today. Really good stuff coming out from everyone today.
Yeah, Team Fish Taco proving that they did learn from the mistakes that Acacia fed them. But that is, of course, all that we have for you guys today. I have been the host of the day, Edu, joined by my wonderful co-caster, Soren. Soren, where can people find you if they ever want your lovely voice over their lovely gameplay?
You can find me over on my Twitter, Soren5, because 1 through 4 was taken.
Perfect. And of course, check out Freezes. We're our observer for our final game there. So thank you so much for Freezes for giving us the best camera angles. And thank you to Hydra for not only doing production, but also owning IGL. That's a two-way road. And GG's, of course, back again to the team of Team Fish Tacos. We'll see you guys in the finals in just a little bit, but make sure with that finals being announced, the signups for the grand finals, or not the signups for the season 2. Sorry, the signups for season 2 is going to be underway. So if you want to compete in next season, if you were one of those teams that got knocked down early, or one of those teams that unfortunately were not able to compete, make sure to go check it out, because this is for $3K and you want to take that money, because the winner gets $2,000, second place gets $1K. So the fun fact, Team Fish Tacos just guaranteed they got $800 here, no matter how they perform coming up next. So pretty good. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You are my ecstasy when you are next to me, flooding my dopamine. Stay here right next to me. Oh, you make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. Couldn't call me, could be sorry rolling. Like whoa, you took all my love like you stole it. Got me like whoa, yeah, whoa. You are my. You are my. You make me feel like I can touch the sky. You make